Big Ronnie saying if you don't watch this guy's YouTube channel, you're making a big mistake.
What's up, everybody? OGP coming at you 10:14 at night on the West Coast, 1:14 in the morning on the East Coast. And I am either out of my mind or incredibly bored or needing to catch up on stuff that I've been meaning to. And I think that's what we're doing here. We're catching up. Yesterday was obviously a different type of stream with us learning a couple days before of our good friend and huge channel supporter, huge community supporter, all these movie, physical media related YouTube channels, Born to Be Rad, Death Pit, Wet Movie One, Cinestalker, myself, amongst others. Our good friend, Supervillain, Esteban, passing away a couple days ago. So last night's stream was very different. I was thrilled with it. We had a great time. It was so nice spending that time with Cinestalker, Web Movie One, and you all in your comments about talking about Supervillain for much of the night. And because of that, we didn't get to as much of the content movie related that I wanted to. And I went to Dollar Tree. I just got back actually about an hour ago, and there's nothing new. I was going to make a video about it, but I walked in there and I was recording and nothing new. All the same old titles. And so I thought, well, maybe I'll just put whatever footage I got and then make a movie review end of it. And then I got home and I was like, you know, I'm just going to go live. Sometimes sitting here editing and talking and all that, it's not as fun as if I just go live and we talk about these things together and hear like some of your thoughts on some of these movies I've watched recently. And some are Christmas related, some are not Christmas related, but just some movies I've watched recently I wanted to talk about tonight. Also mention that, and I see you all. How's everybody doing tonight? Thank you for jumping in and hanging out. Hopefully it's not too late for you. You can hang out for a while. But I do want to take a look real quick because Supervillains were the GoFundMe for Supervillain was over $8,000 when I looked earlier today, and I want to take a look right now and see where it is. His family's been getting so much support. It really tells you how much he has touched people's lives and how many people's lives he's touched. It's just he was just a phenomenal guy, such a caring and good guy. And $8,961. That's where they're at right now. And this is not, I'm not coming on here asking you all to, begging you all to donate or anything like that. But if you want to, if anybody wants to, you ask me for the link, I'll drop a link. But that's not why we're here tonight. But I did want to mention that. And I wanted to thank everybody for being a part of that last night. That was something that Cinestalker and Wet Movie One and Fluffy and myself, amongst others, were really kind of taken back when we found the news out that we lost our friend. And it was very therapeutic for us to get on here and talk about it and get to hang out with you all, and share stories about him, some of the things he's done, listen to some of his messages and stuff. So it was just a great time between here and Wet Movie One's channel last night doing that. And so thank you all for being a part of that. It was a lot of fun, and it's helping us get through this time where we're grieving losing our friend. And it's never easy. It's never easy, but that definitely helped. It made it a lot easier, and definitely brightened all of our days. So thank you for that. Thank you very much. Without further ado, I'll say hello to everybody, and then we'll talk about what we're going to talk about. So what's up, Killer Care Bear? How are you doing tonight? Brian Sanchez in the house. What's going on, Brian? Major Reeves. What's up, Major Reeves? Got your message. Major Reeves just received the movie that he won recently. And Jonathan, how you doing, Jonathan? I am doing very well, thank you very much. Antonis, what's going on, bro? Antonis in the house. Preminator, Suppo GP Bud saw Avatar 2 last night and loved it. Well, very cool. My daughter watched it and she loved it. I have yet to go see it. In fact, Fluffy showed up here on Christmas Eve and was like, kind of throwing around the idea of going to the movies. And the only movie that he or I would have entertained seeing is Avatar 2, at least in the local theater. I had thought I still need to see the menu, and if that was out, we would have probably gone and saw the menu, but it wasn't in the local theater. So for me, Avatar 2 being 3.5 hours or 3 hours, it's something I'd rather watch at home. I just sitting for 3 hours in a theater, I'm going to get antsy. It's a long, long time. It's a long movie. But I'm glad that you loved it. And that's one that I think when it does come out on physical media, I'll check it out. Or when I can stream it, I'll check it out where I can pause it, go to the restroom, get up, walk around, stretch my legs, that type of thing. Chesley Gibbons, what's going on? Chesley. Jason Jones, what's going on, Jason? And Tonis, have you seen a horror movie called Jack Frost? Watch half of it on Peacock, but you have to finish it. So Jack Frost and Jack Frost 2 would have recently come out. Was it MVD that put them out, I think, maybe? Or Shout, one of those recently. And I've seen the first Jack Frost, have not seen the second. They're okay, not my favorite horror movies, but definitely I would not bash them or destroy them like I would the Ice Cream Man. The Ice Cream Man, I just hated that movie, and I have a 2-disc, and I mentioned that because I have Jack Frost. It's the Ice Cream Man and Jack Frost 2, I think, are on this 2-pack here that I have, and it's been a while since I've seen Jack Frost. So as far as breaking it down or anything, that is something I can't do for you tonight. It's been too long, but it's not my favorite, but it's not the worst in the world. Yeah, you know me. It is OGP. That is correct, K-Dog. Rest in peace, Supervillain Pete. Got slammed by a car on the 23rd. No way. Your truck is totaled and have whiplash and sprained shoulder. Oh, dude, Killer Camera. That sucks. Makes you appreciate life, reminds you how precious it is. No, and you're 100% correct. It is. You never know. You could just be going down the street to the grocery store. You could be going out wherever. You could be on a road trip 1,000 miles. You just never know when something like that's going to happen. I have a lot of things going on, but I was up on a mountain earlier today, and driving down, there was 2 accidents. I'm not laughing at the accident. I'm laughing at me being up on a mountain again. It's insane, this thing I got going on here. But I'm driving down, and there was a car on the back of a tow truck, and the front of it was totaled and the back of it was totaled, but in the middle was kind of okay. Like it went off a cliff and then flipped over. So prayers for those people. Hopefully they made it out alive, but that car was beat up. And Killer Kibber, I'm glad you're doing well enough to be with us here and hang out tonight and comment. So at least you are, you should make a recovery. I hope, hopefully that your shoulder gets better. When we get older and we've had these injuries to body parts and stuff, that, you start to get that arthritis and things, and it never is the same. But I hope you can make 100% recovery, Killer Kibber. Gosh, that's so sorry. I'm so sorry for you. And hopefully insurance comes through and takes care, and you get an even better truck. Preminator, how was Christmas? Christmas was wonderful. I could talk about that all night, but I see a comment right here. Did I watch the Christmas offerings? Is it MC? What is the Christmas offerings? Are we talking about? Are we talking about our voyage videos for tomorrow? I have seen one of the 2, and I saw, I think, about 3/4 of Summertime Christmas, and I fell asleep. So I've got to finish Summertime Christmas. It wasn't as bad as I thought. the summertime Christmas was not as bad as I thought. And, but I do have to finish it because it did put me to sleep. Those type of movies, very hard for me to get through. But is there something called the Christmas Offerings? Is that like another movie or something? If it is, I have not seen that. Your Dollar Tree videos are ASMR when you whisper those titles in your ears. Well, Jay Muse, Snoochie Boochies. Snoochie Boochies. Oh, yeah, baby. No, and the thing is, when I'm in the Dollar Trees, I'm trying not to draw attention to myself. And a lot of times the movies are up front because they're a high theft item. So they keep them close to the front counter. So as I'm over there talking, I just try to act like a weirdo, like I'm talking to myself. And I'll hold my cell phone kind of close to my chest like this as I'm recording, and I'm in there. So you are like right under my nostrils. And there's a lot of times where I'm like driving myself nuts because I'm hearing myself breathe because this camera, that like the microphone in it seems like it's pointed directly up my nostrils. So sometimes you hear me breathing. I apologize about that. Any thoughts on Videodrome? My thoughts on Videodrome, Jonathan, are I need to watch it. I have it over here. I need to watch it. And then I could give you some detailed thoughts on it, but I have yet to watch it. I bought it. Haven't watched it yet. And that's a shame on me. And so, Preminator, to get back to Christmas, Christmas was going wonderful up until the moment we got the news about our friend passing away, Supervillain. We woke up in the morning, opened presents with the kids. I cooked French toast and sausage and eggs and everything. Had a nice big breakfast. It was wonderful. Sitting there watching some football, and the Packers won. They beat Miami. I needed that for my Pats here to keep the playoff hopes alive. So it was going great. And then I was sitting there, and I was going to go take a shower and get my day really, really going. And I got the news about Supervillain passing away, and it just kind of like stopped the day dead in its tracks. And I just, was bummed out about it. I was having a little allergies because I'm allergic to cats. And so the cats like to go in our living room where we have couches. And I know I'm allergic to cats, but I have them. Don't ask me. Don't. It's, my wife and kids love them, and I'm a sucker. I love cats. I love animals. I'm just allergic to them. But so I was sitting out there when we were opening presents. So I was having like a little bit of a allergy fit. And that, like, sometimes also taking a shower after that helps me kind of process all that out. Well, finding out about Supervillain, I was just kind of taken back, and I sat there for a while, and then the allergies were really getting to me. So I ended up going and laying down, got up a couple hours later because my wife came in. She's like, dinner's ready. And so it's like, perfect. Went out, had dinner. And right as we were sitting down to dinner, Fluffy Gamer showed up. And so that was really nice. Real nice surprise from him to show up and hang out. But I told him like a week ago that if he wanted to come up for Christmas, he was more than welcome. And I said, we're going to, because he doesn't like turkey, but he likes ham. I said, we're going to have a ham. My wife cooked a ham and a turkey and sweet potatoes and mashed potatoes and corn and this green bean casserole and like all kinds of stuff. Had a huge spread. Fluffy stopped and ate Jack in the Box on the way over. so that was his Christmas dinner, but we had a wonderful Christmas dinner that my wife made. And then Fluffy and I hung out here, and he brought up a bunch of gifts. And those are some of the things that I'm going to talk about tonight are some of the gifts that he brought up. And one in particular, kind of a gag gift. And he mentioned in his video recently that he bought something for me for Christmas, but he brought this. He knows that I thought this movie sucked, but he brought it anyways. So, but it's a Rob Zombie movie. And so that was the only Rob Zombie movie I did not have. So for me to get that, now I still have all the Rob Zombie movies. But, and then Christmas Eve, we went to my grandmother's house and had a nice dinner there, had tamales, kind of like a more, and I don't know if it's a real traditional, like Mexican Christmas dinner, but at least like Southern California Mexican Christmas dinner, tamales, beans, rice, that type of stuff. So it was delicious. It was wonderful getting to spend time with my grandmother, who is still around. Yes, both of my parents have passed, but both of my grandmothers are still around. So I'm very blessed and happy that they're still here with us, and spent evening with her and my great uncle Tom. So that was very nice. So all in all, I had a wonderful Christmas. if you take out, like if we didn't have to find out about Supervillain passing away, it was a phenomenal Christmas. Let's see here. Wicked Network, what's up? What's up? What's up? How are you feeling after this past Monday? I'm feeling down. Grandma's back in the hospital. That's a bummer, Wicked Network. I am sorry. I am so sorry to hear that. You know what? Life doesn't get any easier as time moves on. People get sick. We start to lose people and everything. Prayers that your grandma pulls through, gets better, and gets home soon. Wicked Network. Sorry to hear that. Happy holidays and happy new year to all in the chat. Well, and happy holidays, happy new year to you, MC. We got MC has his year in review, kind of like top five, I think top five, bottom five, right? As far as your movies go, this Friday at 6 p.m. on the 30th. So that's coming. We also have The Voyage to the Bottom of the Barrel tomorrow night on Mel on My Killer Podcast channel at 5 o'clock. So MC is going to be busy coming up here real soon. But be sure check out, if you haven't, Master Chaos, you can subscribe to him. Just search on YouTube Master Chaos, not the old one, not Master Chaos TV, just Master Chaos now. And check out his video Friday. Tomorrow will be on My Killer Podcast channel. Happy holidays, MC. The offerings were something. Yeah, and so maybe I've missed something. I don't know what we're even talking about here. Yes, almost happy new year to everybody. Yes, we're getting close. We are getting close. And let's see. Thoughts on The Dead Zone. Yeah, Jonathan, you might be catching me in another one that I am not familiar with here. I'd have to look that up. I know of Videodrome for sure. Of The Dead Zone. It sounds very familiar to me. Oh, are we talking about Stephen King's Dead Zone movie from 1983? Is that what you're talking about, Jonathan? Gosh, it has been an eternity since I watched that. And it's funny that you mentioned Stephen King movie, because Matt was telling me about this, and I should be very, 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 very soon out in Las Vegas. Believe it or not, I'm insane. I just what I've got going on in life right now. But the Cat's Eye, Matt was telling me about this, and I hadn't seen this in forever, and I couldn't remember if I'd ever even seen it. But after watching it, because it's an anthology with 3 stories, and the one where I forget his name, but the dude who played the pilot in the Airplane movie, he had to, like, he was going to run off with this rich guy's wife, and they kind of made him like, oh, if you can go around the outside of this building way up high and not fall to your death, then we'll let you leave with the wife, and bad things happen. And then another story about these little like trolls that come out of the wall in Drew Barrymore's bedroom and stuff. I remember seeing it after watching it now. It had just been years and years since I seen it. But Matt was talking about it, and I was like, oh, I need to give a copy of this. So I ordered this off of Amazon. It was $10. Not too bad for a Blu-ray, for a Stephen King Blu-ray there. Enjoyed it quite a bit. So let's see here. So we got MCs chatting with, Holland. The offerings were something. Yeah, I'm not with you guys on the offerings. Gosh, I might have to get caught up. Let's see here. The Christmas offerings are the Voyage titles. Oh, okay. They were rough. I have some action-packed ones planned for next episode. Nice, very cool. And the summertime Christmas was not as painful as I thought it was going to be, but it just put me to sleep. The other one, oh man. Let's just say if anybody watched the last Voyage, where at the end I kind of predicted how we would feel about these movies, I think I might be backwards, but you have to watch tomorrow on Mel's channel. We will talk about it all. I don't want to spoil it too much. I want everybody to be able to be there tomorrow and hear all of our craziness and goofiness and our thoughts and the pain and suffering that we went through Yeah, I will be watching when I get off this live stream tonight. I'll be watching the last, I don't know, 20 minutes or half hour of that movie, because that was a long one. That was like an hour and 50 minutes plus commercials. Like, oh, it was tough. It was tough. Oh, double potatoes, your kind of family. Yeah, no, right? No, you gotta have sweet potatoes and you gotta have mashed potatoes. I mean, like, you have to have both. Maybe you have a little bit of each or whatever if you're trying to watch your weight. But if you're just a food lover, a meat and potatoes kind of family, then you have to have both. You do. What's your favorite and least favorite movie of the year? Antonis, we're going to be talking about that. I don't know. I haven't figured out when. The rest of my week is insane with what I've got going on, but I do intend on, in the next few days, it might even fall after the new year, but in the next few days, I will have a video up where I'm recapping my favorite and my least favorite movies of the year. And I can tell you, I'll tease some. Some of my favorite movies of the year were Top Gun, were X, Batman, Doctor Strange. Loved those movies. Some of the worst movies of the year, that Texas Chainsaw atrocity, the Scream movie, I didn't care for, but it wasn't the worst, definitely. And I'm excluding the stuff that we're watching in Voyage to the Bottom of the Barrel as far as movies that I've seen this year that I've hated. But probably worst, I'd have to really think about it to think of anything else that pissed me off that was newer more than that Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. That was so bad. Cat's Eye Cool 80s movies. Yes, it was a great movie, and I couldn't believe I couldn't remember it. But then after watching, I was like, oh yeah, that's right. And the cast is phenomenal. With James Woods, Alan King. Gosh, I don't remember all their names, but the cast is great. You see these people and you're like, oh, I remember you. Let's see. I'm sorry about your comment to Danny last night. Yeah, Joe, when we're talking about, and we're sitting here dealing with the loss of a friend, wasn't really going to get into talking about Asian women's feet. So hopefully you understand, Joe. Do you find The Shining to be a horror uncomfortable movie? If so, what is about that makes it so uncomfortable and horror, since it is a movie without jump scares? And Whisper, that's a phenomenal question. I love your thought on that, because I, as a horror movie fan, I hate jump scares. Jump scares are a bad excuse for poor writing. You don't need jump scares. If there's, jump scares are fine here and there. But when the movie is just jump scare after jump scare after jump scare, and you're waiting for it, and you hear the ominous tones coming, whatever, and then bah, like, we know it's coming. Like, jump scares they're so predictable in movies now. But The Shining is phenomenal, because if you watch, you see Jack Nicholson go from a regular dude who looks a little kind of kooky to begin with, but that's just Jack Nicholson. But you see him go from like a normal guy getting a job and just kind of really going into becoming a complete maniac who's obsessed with killing his family. And what really makes it scary is the premise that somebody's father might want to kill him, or kill the son, kill the wife. The thought that your family is supposed to be the closest bond that you have on this planet is with, especially your immediate family, your mom, your dad, your brothers, sisters. That is supposed to be the people you are the tightest with, that you can trust with your life. And for them to turn and want to kill you and stop at nothing to do it, that's what is crazy. But if you watch that movie, and if you haven't ever seen Room 237, right? I totally recommend that you watch that. And I always forget. Is it 237? Yeah, it is Room 237. I just forget the room number. And that's the one where, was the door locked? Was it not locked? Is a naked lady in the bathtub inside? Was she not? Whatever. All these things that are happening. I love in Room 237, everybody's different theories on what's going on. But if you watch, Kubrick was such a genius with his movies, and everything that happened in his movies was for a reason. So as you go through and see the way that some of the products in the storage room were stocked, and some of the labels were facing this way or that way. The reasons for that, very interesting. But then like the typewriter changing in the movie, just so many different little details in it that allude to him losing his mind and make you as a viewer go, is he losing his mind, or are there really ghosts? Is he possessed? Is he just going crazy? Because, and here's something that's very interesting. I put up a poll question the other day saying, is The Shining a Christmas movie? There are a lot of people that say yes, it's a Christmas movie because it takes place in the middle of winter, and presumably they go up there, then the snow starts falling up in the mountain in Colorado where it's supposed to be. Snow starts falling, and presumably we have gone past Christmas. Like they didn't celebrate Christmas. They couldn't go get a tree and everything. They were snowed in. So, but a lot of us are like, you go home, you spend the holidays with your family, and you start going crazy. The stir craziness of being at home, being around family too much. Because some of us, you love your family, but being around them too much can make you crazy. So is The Shining kind of, is that like, well, he's cooped up with his family for too long, he's driving him nuts? Is that something like that, like what you would experience during the holidays or something? Who knows? I wish Stanley Kubrick were alive today to be able to talk to him about it. And I love going back and listening to people that interviewed Kubrick here and there. You get little clips and stuff. It is very, very interesting to listen to him talk. I could listen to Kubrick interviews all day long. But I, as far as jump scare movies, to me, it's just jump scares are a lazy way out for writers, and they don't do anything for me. Sometimes they just even annoy me more than anything. But Whisper, that's a sign of the times. That's what, as we go through time, movies change. And if we look back, like at the 80s, there are things, especially like Cat's Eye is a perfect example. There's parts of this, the pacing is kind of slower because that's what they did in the 80s to make it more dramatic or feel more intense. And they have different ways of doing that now, filmmakers do. And the movies nowadays are like, we've heard Quentin Tarantino talk about it. We've heard Martin Scorsese talk about them, where there's no real movie stars today. Everything is done in front of a green screen. It's all action, flying around, craziness. The younger audiences just want action, 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 and don't care about the story. For me, I could watch the slowest movie in the world. If you give me a compelling story, something that's going to make me think, I love it. And that's where we don't get that with movies now. There's nothing coming out that's really thought-provoking. Everything is just like craziness in your face. And it's just a different world of movies now than it was back in the, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. It's just different. So, and that's, if you're younger and that's what you're exposed to, that's what you grow up knowing, that's what you like when you get older. But as you get older, maybe, hopefully you won't reject things that were before your time. And for example, for me, when I was younger, I remember I was like, man, no way in hell am I listening to Elvis Presley or like Frank Sinatra and stuff like that. Now I love it. I absolutely love it because of the quality of music. And now everything, we're getting Taylor Swift shoved down our throats all the time. And if you hear her sing live without auto-tune or without her vocals being pumped in the background to match, she's a horrible singer. She couldn't sing to save her life. But you go back and you hear some of these musicians, like somebody like Whitney Houston, who could, her voice was just amazing. You don't have that many talented folks nowadays. You get people who look pretty and the camera likes them and they do or say something and they get a big audience and a big following. And then they just make them super famous. And you get, some person like a Kardashian who's a talentless hack, but she goes, makes a sex tape, has, boob implants and butt implants and lip implants. And you look at the pictures, it's so funny. Somebody posted a picture of the Kardashians when they were young. And man, are they all a bunch of ugly trolls, and went out and had all this like plastic surgery done. And now they're famous because they sit around and talk about, oh God, do I do I paint my nails today or tomorrow? Like, oh, your life is so rough. Oh man. And that's where, unfortunately, that's just another element of like taking thought-provoking things and educational things out of our television and putting dumb shit like that in. It's just a different world as far as television and movies and stuff. But I'll tell you, I absolutely love The Shining. The Shining and Silence of the Lambs are my two favorite movies of all time. And one day I'll say The Shining is better than the other, and then the other day I'll be like, no, The Silence of the Lambs is better. I just love those two movies. The Shining, the writing is a little better, a little more detail. I think I like a little bit more the Shining because it still has me thinking. Every time I watch it, it has me thinking. Whereas Silence of the Lambs, I got it. But man, those two movies right there, absolutely love them. Let's see here. Can you hang out with us in Vegas? Joe, if we are in Vegas one day and you're out there and you see us post something, you let us know and we'll try and make it happen. Fun Games 2007, the remake, A Dutch Counterpart, is the most uncomfortable movie we've seen. No jump scares, but a horror movie. It's based on uncomfortable, relatable nature. Well, Funny Games. Funny Games. I think, have I seen Funny Games? Oh yeah, with what's his name? Michael um 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 gosh, why am I drawing a blank on his name? Yeah, whatever his name is. Michael, whatever his name is. But yeah, no, but I love movies like that make you think and are you don't need jump scares for it to be intense. It's what you think. And this is when it comes to scary movies, the scariest thing for us to watch is something that's plausible, something that could really happen in our life. And for you to put yourself in that position, I'll tell you, there is a movie that I will not ever watch again because I get extremely claustrophobic. Not like in elevators, but if I can't move my arms, forget it. I'm gonna freak out. And so the movie Buried with Ryan Reynolds, right? Woo, man, that movie is the toughest movie for me to get through just because of the fact that he is stuck in that coffin. And you don't know what's outside. You don't know if he's underground or whatever, or he doesn't know at least. But just the fact that he can't move and he is stuck there, that to me, nightmare city. I don't need jump scares. I need situational drama that makes me go, oh, fuck. Yeah, like, oh, what would I do? And when you could put yourself in that situation, we watch uh, superhero movies. We can't put ourselves on Asgard with a giant hammer that can, smash 1,000 troops. We cannot realistically imagine ourselves in that situation because it does not exist. But you could imagine your dad losing his shit and wanting to kill you and your mom because stuff like that has happened and people are nuts. And that's the beauty of movies is every movie you've ever watched has come from some human's mind. So the human beings are the most crazy, dangerous, intense thing that you need to worry about in your life. And I mean, you could jump in the ocean and, maybe there's sharks, but that's on you. You don't have to do that. You could go skydiving and risk crashing and dying, but you don't have to do that. But in your life, they're just people around and you don't know what they're going to do. So to me, you give me crazy people and situations that could really happen. That's what I love. It's just, I don't know. It just does something for me more than, flying superheroes and jump scares. What's up, Dominic? Do you love making videos or making lives? So, Dominic, I like doing both. Live streams are much easier because we can just get on here and talk. I don't have to do any editing, and I get to interact with you all at the same time. So I like live streams better, I think. But if I just sat here and did live streams all the time, the channel would go nowhere. We've seen there are other YouTube channels that's what they just go live. They just go live. We're going live. We're going live. We're going live. And you all get bored of it. They never grow. They never go anywhere. So I like the adventures. I like going out and doing things. I have plans, not dates yet, but plans to be out going to different hotels and stuff up in Nevada, doing some ghost hunting, going different places, historic places, or, like we see so many with guys like Scott on Tape or Grim Life. where they're going to all these celebrity graves and everything like that. And so me doing that type of stuff might be rehashed content at some point in the future, but I still like doing that, getting close to people that have passed. Like when we were out, Cinestalker and I out there in Vegas and went to Red Fox grave and Robin Leach's grave and, several other celebrities, we went to their graves. That stuff, it's neat to me to be that close to their final resting place and in a place where the people that loved them poured out their emotions as they grieved losing somebody. It's not like a happy thing to do. It's a very interesting thing for me that I don't know what it is. I can't really explain the draw to it, but I love doing stuff like that. So anyways, going out and doing these type of adventure videos and going places, stuff that I love. Going to conventions, a lot of fun. But as far as making videos, when you have to sit there and edit and edit and edit, it gets old. So doing live streams is a lot of fun, especially because on those type of videos, yeah, I can respond to some of your comments and stuff, but it's not like this. It's definitely not like this. Any thoughts on Bullet Train, Jonathan? So Bullet Train, I have yet to see. I know I could stream it, but I've heard enough bad things about it that I'm just like, I'm not in a hurry to watch it. So, the reviews and everybody that has seen it that I know, a couple people have liked it, but in general, a lot of people that I kind of look to for their thoughts on movies have thought it was kind of a letdown, kind of a disappointing, compared to what we kind of expected with that cast. Ortega, what's up, homeboy? Man, Ortega out there getting autographs and doing it up, man. We're going to be seeing Ortega, if nothing else. What, probably Creepie? Is that when we're going to be seeing you next? Or are you going to be going to the Fear Fair in San Bernardino in 2 weeks? 2 or 3 weeks, whenever it is. It's the middle of January. Or probably Creepie for sure. I should be there both days. Perfect example of good jump scare is The Exorcist 3. And I'm not going to say there are good jump scares. There are good jump scares. Maybe my favorite jump scare of all time is, and it's kind of not really a jump scare, but in The Haunting of Hill House, when and I forget, a guy or girl, whatever, is laying there on the couch, and then the camera kind of backs up, and then like the ghost is like hovering above them, and like I'm like, oh shit, that's nuts. You did not expect that. That was phenomenal. But most jump scares, it's just like, yeah, it's like riding a roller coaster. You go and you want that like 10 seconds of free fall that scares the crap out of you, gets adrenaline going and all that. I get it. I get that. But for me, I can get, based on a good story, I can get my adrenaline going just as much as a jump scare. As Room 237, a documentary. Yeah, Antonis. So Room 237 is a movie where they interview different, I think, like filmmakers or writers, producers, just different people, and they talk about their theories. All these people talk about their theories behind what The Shining is really about. Like what are the the underlying plots or subplots, different whatever you think that the real meaning of the movie is. And it's just all them giving their theories on it. A bunch of different people. It's amazing. If you love The Shining, you will love that. I promise you. I absolutely love Room 237. Is Room 237 a real room? So Dominic, so here's the thing with that. So The Shining was written by Stephen King in a hotel in Estes Park, Colorado. And that hotel was not in The Shining at all. The Shining, when you see the movie, the exterior, there are scenes when at the beginning of the movie, they're driving up the hill toward the hotel. That is in Oregon. And they're going up to, well, in the movie, it's what the overlook. But in reality, I think it's the Timberland Lodge that they're driving up the hill on Mount Hood. It's like the south side of Mount Hood in Oregon. I have been there. And they're driving up the hill and they get to the hotel and you see the exterior of the hotel. Once the movie starts, all the interior and, well, not all the interior, but most of the interior, well, maybe all of it. Yeah, no, I think all of the interior was shot in a studio in London. The maze outside where Jack Nicholson dies, that was all created in London. The whole thing was really shot in London, aside from a few things that were shot in Oregon. The Colorado is where the story is supposed to take place, because that's where Stephen King got the inspiration to write The Shining, but none of it really takes place in Colorado. Room 237, if you go to the Timberland Lodge there in Oregon, you go inside, it looks nothing like the inside of the hotel in The Shining, because that was all, it's all created and it's all done over there in London. But now the elevators where the blood comes flushing, gushing out and everything, the tidal wave of blood that comes out of the elevators, the inspiration for that was at a hotel, like a lodge in Yosemite. There's elevators there, and I've seen lots of people post pictures of those elevators from Yosemite. So there's inspiration from different places, but really it's a fake hotel. And so there is no hotel where you can go and stay in that room 237. It's just not there. So you can buy little keychains, and I've thought about grabbing one, but that say like room 237 that look like the key from the movie and stuff. And that something like that might be cool to have. But there is no real room 237 that you can go stay in. So, MC, I know it's, I'm not sure. It's 10:39, well, 10:54. I'm not sure, MC, if you're still here or not, but man, I was scrolling through Paramount. I think it was Paramount Plus. And I saw MC's movie, The Haunting of the Whaley House, on there. I was like, oh, cool. How cool is that? Man, it was sitting right there with all kinds of other classic, amazing movies. So, man, it's so cool that Master Chaos made a movie that's sitting like right there. I want to say it was Paramount, or it might have either Paramount. I think it was Paramount Plus. Could have been Peacock. Could have been Peacock too. One of those two to see Master Chaos movie, The Haunting of the Whaley House. And if you haven't seen that, that is a fun movie. If you guys don't know, if you just know Master Chaos as the YouTube guy, you are missing out, because Master Chaos has made some great movies. And The Haunting of the Whaley House might be the best. I'm not sure how he feels about that, but I think for the rest of us, I think we might think Haunting of the Whaley House is the best. But it's a great movie, and you can watch it. Just Google it; you'll be able to find where to check it out. Let's see here. Yeah, no, Whisper, you are correct. Yes, and I absolutely love it. Yes, it is a cool documentary. Also watching Jack Frost on Peacock. Nice. Very cool. Nocturnal's in the house. What's up, Nocturno? Sorry, I know I ranted so much. I'm about 15 minutes behind in the comments now. I'm going to try and get caught up here. What are your thoughts on Babylon? I have not watched Babylon. We're talking about, that's like a new movie, right? Or is that a new movie or new show or something that's out? Times for Babylon. Oh, that's that. Yeah, the new movie. Yeah, with Margot Robbie and Brad Pitt and stuff, right? Yeah. Watching the trailers for it, I'm like, I don't know. I'll probably watch it at some point, but it's not really a movie that's like going like, OGP, you need to watch me. It's just not doing it for me. You think you saw it 237? Okay, cool. Off to finish Christmas with Cookie. Oh, nice. Well, yeah, MC, enjoy, and we'll be talking about, man, Christmas with Cookie and Summertime Christmas. Those are the two movies we're going to be watching or talking about tomorrow on the Voyage to the Bottom of the Barrel. Let's see, 5 o'clock. So 18 hours from now, we're going to be talking about two tragic Christmas movies on Mel's channel. Do most Christmas movies use real snow, or is it fake? Antonis, most Christmas movies use fake snow. And you look a lot of times, the snow, if you ever see snow in real life, if it's sunny outside, that snow is starting to melt, and so the ground is wet. You'll see there's a lot of times where there's snow. It's like nice and kind of tucked in, all like perfect and everything. Most movies use fake snow. And I can tell you the snow in The Shining, fake. Yeah, that was not real snow. Science 2002 is one of our favorite horror movie, and we base that on the fact there's uncomfortable, intense atmosphere, and you don't see the aliens that much, just darkness. Yeah, and that's what, when it's that intense, that unknown, that is good stuff right there. I like that. John Cusack 1408 movie with Samuel Jackson. Did you see it? 1408. I have, but man, it's been a while. It's been a while, Killer Care Bear. Yeah, because I mean, here's the thing: like John Cusack, love John Cusack, being being like a child in the '80s and around when all kinds of like the '80s movies. And drawing a blank on any of the names or whatever with John Cusack, but yeah, good movie. Been a while. I own it. It's up there. Been a while since I've seen it, but I do like it. I've been doing skits recently. They're a lot of fun. Tried improv comedy, have all the laughs. They're all horror related. Dominic, I know you were mentioning that to us on the live stream. Very, very good stuff. Thoughts on Eastern Promises? That's I'd never even heard of Eastern Promises, Jonathan. Sorry, I wish I did. Thanks for keeping you from being bored tonight. Well, Jordy, thank you. Thanks for hanging out with us. We saw how U.S. directors operate versus others. Yeah, Latin Rot, however you say it, was remade into Let Me In 2010, and that version show everything and leaves nothing to the imagination. Real pity, right? Yes, I agree with you, Whisper. There's things that you don't need to know or you don't need to see to make you scared, be intense. Yeah, for example, the original Psycho, Alfred Hitchcock, the girl's in the shower. We know she's getting stabbed. We don't need to see the knife going into her body. We just need to see her feet and some blood coming out. And that's good enough. We understand what happened. You can leave things to the imagination. And I think more than it being US directors that want to do that, I think it's the studios telling US directors, oh, well, the audience isn't going to understand. And I think studios now think people are stupid and they won't understand these movies. And I think a lot of that has to do with all these Marvel and DC and action crazy movies where you see everything. You leave nothing to the imagination because they put their imagination out there for you to digest. Whereas a good movie, I love when they make you think about things. I don't like when the ending is for you to determine. I like a specific ending, but when you have to try and figure out why or what happened or how we got there, or you have to interpret what is being seen and makes you think about it, I love it. I love it. And you're right. It is a pity. But I think there's a lot of directors, people we know, that have made movies. Studios come back and go, we can't do this. We got to change it. You got to make it, and whatever. And the studio sometimes takes some of that creative control away from the filmmakers, and it's a bummer. It really does. Yeah, I know. Ranting on the Kardashians, Kardashians. Yeah, yeah. And it's funny. Every time I see them, I'm like, you look like freaks. You look like aliens with all this plastic on your bodies. And then you watch Star Trek, and they're talking about the Kardashians. These freaky alien weird looking people, right? Yeah, it is so unnecessary. You're right. Regarding your point on Silence of the Lambs, is the writing a bit clunky when it comes to establishing a villain? Is Buffalo Bill underwritten or Hannibal overwritten, or neither? Gosh, that's interesting. I could talk about Silence. I could do a whole couple hours on Silence of the Lambs, because I just love everything Hannibal Lecter. I love and even it gets such a bad rap, Hannibal Rising, because we get to see what turned Hannibal into the monster that he is. And I like it. Was it the greatest film? No. Is it the worst in the franchise? Maybe, but I still enjoy it. But Buffalo Bill, I thought what we got with Buffalo Bill was kind of right. Maybe, if anything, a little overwritten. Maybe we got a little too much of Buffalo Bill. They could have toned that or given us a little bit less and made us use our imagination a little bit more on that. But I thought what we got with Hannibal in the cell and with Jodie Foster, coming to see him, and the writing, and then when the guy throws his cum on Clarice when she's walking out, and then Hannibal, we find out later that Hannibal's able to talk to him to convince him to like kill himself. It's we find this stuff out that it's happening because of him, and I love that. So I like the fact that we're finding these things out, that Hannibal is so manipulative and so evil that he's able to control all these things from that little prison cell in a dungeon where he's at. And I really enjoy that. Um, there's parts of it that maybe you could tweak and make a little bit better, whatever. But I just the story, the evil and the manipulative person that Hannibal is, I just love it. And it's part of that is just because people can be that sick and twisted, and it's good. But no, it's a good question. You could really analyze, as you go through the story, did we need this with Buffalo Bill, or did we, could we done without that, or whatever. But if anything, I would say, yeah, Buffalo Bill maybe a little overwritten, but I like it the way it is. Yeah. Your two favorite movies of all time are Terminator 2 and Casino. Hey, those are great, great movies. As far as sci-fi movies, Terminator 2 might be the greatest sci-fi movie of all time. And Casino, that is in my, I think it's in my top 5 of like crime mafia movies of all time, where I think the original Godfather and Goodfellas, and those, again, it's a toss-up for me. I have such a hard time picking favorites. Godfather and Goodfellas, you could kind of throw them up, and one day I'd pick one day I'd pick the other. But between those and Casino, and then Godfather 2 would be in my top 5 also. I do like the original one better than 2. A lot of people I know like 2 better than 1. Part 3, we just pretend it didn't happen. But as far as mob movies, Casino is phenomenal. Absolutely love Casino. Let's see here. Any thoughts on Iron Giant? I have not seen Iron Giant, and that might be out of my sorry, here we go. Yeah, I'm not big on animation, and I've just never seen it. I don't do. I'm not a big like cartoon or animation fan. Was Doctor Sleep's sequel to The Shining any good? So Killer Care Bear. So for me, as if you take the movie Doctor Sleep and make it a standalone movie, thought it was a good movie. As a sequel to The Shining, it pisses me off. It really does, because in The Shining, and this is something like Whisper was kind of talking about, like leaving things to the imagination. The Shining, we had to figure out what was going on. Doctor Sleep, everything is laid out. You see, everything. And then the Doctor Sleep kind of became it had the Stranger Things factor, where it was like now not a movie about a dad who lost his shit and was trying to kill his family. It was a movie about a teenage girl trying to save the day. Yay! And fuck that. It was not the way The Shining was. But here's the thing. That's what Stephen King wrote as the sequel to The Shining. So this is on Stephen King. I hate it as a sequel to The Shining. I mean, yeah, I was so pissed off after watching that movie for the first time. But sitting back, and if I honestly look at it and just go, as a standalone movie, it wasn't bad. But as a sequel to The Shining, it really unnerved me. I was frustrated. The awesome thing about Buried was the fact you're engaged in the conversation with him and you want him to get through to the embassy. That's supposed to help him, but isn't. Yeah, no, it's, for when you think about, you're going to watch a movie about a dude from start to end that is stuck in a coffin. How can you make this entertaining? How can you make it like, keep you on the edge of your seat or keep you invested in the movie? How is it going to keep you from getting bored? And they did a great job with it. It is a good movie. It is a good movie, but it just like the idea of him being stuck there, not, and then when he's like trying to turn around in that coffin, like, oh man, that would be my worst nightmare, would be being trapped in something like that. Shining builds terror. Major Reeves, you're right. It really does. What's next for 2023? So 2023, more, hopefully more movie watching. I haven't been able to, because I've been you know, it seems like every time I'm sitting down to watch a movie, I'm having to watch something from Voyage to the Bottom of the Barrel. And it's really made me hate movies. Like when I'm watching all these shitty movies, last thing I want to do is watch another movie. So, you know, I told, you know, Master Chaos and the crew, like, I got to tone it down. I told him, like, I'll do one a month. I can't continue doing 2 of those a month. But there's going to be some adventures. There's, I don't know if Wet Movie One's going to pull them all off or not. I doubt it. But there's the Fear Fair in just a couple weeks, a convention that I'm looking forward to. At the beginning of February, we have Creep IE. Then a couple weeks after that, we have Days of the Dead in Vegas. So already the next couple months are insane. But right now, I'm still waiting to hear when they set dates for Supervillain's funeral. I would love to go out to El Paso and be there for that. So there's just so much going on that I haven't been able to go. Like, well, okay, this, you know, this is going to happen here, there, or whatever. But there's, man, I'm so swamped with things, and so much of it, unfortunately, isn't YouTube related right now. It's there's a lot going on with my other passion, and that's movie making, and the whole world of being, instead of talking about movies, the world of being behind the screen. I got a lot going on with that right now as well. That's taking up a lot of time, and there's no glory in that. And a lot of the stuff that I'm doing, I'll never get credit or praise. You know, I'm not, you know, like starring in a movie or something. A lot of the things that I'm doing, if I'm producing stuff or you know, helping with projects in different capacities, I'll never get like, you know, credit or praise or whatever for a lot of the things I'm doing, but I'm having a lot of fun with it. And that's what's important to me. So there's a lot of that going on, and there's, you know, a lot of YouTube stuff going on. And then, you know, I do have a family and I like, it's been cold and it's actually raining right now. But I do got a Harley in the garage that does not have nearly as many miles on it as it should. So I need to spend a lot more time with my bike out there. What's your opinion on biopics? For us, we get a lot more from watching the interviews with Dahmer, Kuklinski, and Bundy rather than watching a dramatized and somewhat inaccurate reenactment. Whisper, boy, I could sit and watch and talk movies with you for a long, long time. I really, really could, because I'll tell you what, it's funny. I one of the things in the video that I was talking about inside Dollar Tree, as I was recording the video, you'll never see because I shit canned it because there was nothing in Dollar Tree. But I picked up Hotel Mumbai because somebody was saying, oh, Hotel Mumbai was pretty good. And I didn't have it. And I was sitting there reading it and thinking about it. And I'm just like, I remember this in the news, you know, or like the Tom Hanks movie where the airplane crashes into the Hudson River. I remember that from the news. I don't need to see a movie of it. I remember it from the news. You know, there are some movies that revolve around situations that are good, like the movie Jarhead, where Jamie Foxx is phenomenal in that movie. The sequels and everything, whatever. But Jarhead, great movie about Desert Storm, you know, the Gulf War and stuff. I love that movie. That was great. But as far as like taking a situation like Jeffrey Dahmer, the movie My Friend Dahmer, I liked that because I didn't know a lot about his childhood. But we know what he did. We know what they found in his apartment, all that. So I didn't need to watch it. I did watch the first episode of Dahmer, and I was like, okay, it was put together well, but I knew all that stuff. There was nothing informative for me in there. I love crime documentaries. You know, learning about how evil and twisted people are. I don't love that there are victims, but listening when there are killers out there and we get to find out what was going on in their head, that's very interesting. And I would much rather watch a real interview, a real documentary than a recreation. I'm with you there. I especially because like even so the Elvis movie came out earlier this year. I enjoyed the movie. It was a long movie, but I wasn't like, oh, I need to get out of here. This movie's too long. I didn't feel like that. I loved the movie, but apparently kind of inaccurate. So that, like, we all know about Elvis. We know what happened. There were some things that I did not know. And that movie, after leaving there, that movie made me want to go find Colonel Tom Parker and spit on his grave. But when it's inaccurate, it's kind of frustrating. I'd rather see something like an interview with, if it's based on a specific event. I'd rather just know the truth, and let's just be creative and write insane stories. You be honest, you and your camera buddy were going to the old Los Angeles Zoo, and we had a pocket knife, and it was really dark. We had flashlights. I had a feeling he was going to take you deep into the zoo. To kill you? What? Well, then I wouldn't go out with that guy. If you're worried about somebody killing you, I wouldn't go out with that person to hang out alone, especially. But the old zoo is kind of nuts. And, there's a lot of places over there in Griffith Park that are like, could be sketchy at night, especially. So, that's crazy. Either that or the Satanists were going to kill us. Yeah, no. Hey, yeah, there's that. I'm telling you, that park at night. The Last Samurai underrated. Thoughts on Ghost Dog, the way of the samurai. Man, Jonathan, you're like you either know what I've watched or haven't. You're like going down my letterbox page going, oh, OGP has watched this, I'm gonna ask him about it. Unfortunately, most of the stuff you're asking about me tonight I don't know of. So Ortega will be at Creep IE. Very nice. What was that event you said was in San Bernardino? So Dominic, the event in San Bernardino is called the Fear Fair, and it's at the Orange Show Fairgrounds. There's going to be like stages with music and bands. There's going to be costume contests, vendors, food, like all kinds of things. It's going to be like imagine like a county fair, but like a horror themed county fair kind of thing. Very much looking forward to it. Called the Fear Fair. On your point on Hill House, you're probably talking about creepy, unsettling imagery versus pure jump scare. We agree with you though, and find the former more unsettling and effective. Yeah, no, and that's where I seem to remember that shot being of the person on the couch, and they kind of just start pulling out. The camera is pulling out and reveals that up there. And when you see the ghost up above, it's like, oh shit, it was amazing. You don't really need the jump scares. A Dark Tower, Master Chaos hates it. I didn't think it was that bad, but it wasn't great. I wouldn't spend a lot of money on it, but if you watch it, it's not the end of the world. Ever notice that the majority of Stephen King's most popular film adaptations are about protagonists who themselves are writers? Can you name 7 movies? Well, trivia. I'm not good at trivia. I am horrible at trivia and remembering names. No, I could go to IMDb and start talking about Stephen King movies. But as far as like pulling off my head, that's when somebody says, oh, what's your favorite, 5 comedies? And I'm like, oh, well, I got to start thinking like, okay, what? But if we're talking about something that I've seen or watched or whatever, I can remember. But as far as like being able to, spit out a bunch of titles, I'm not good at that. So please forgive me. But if there's a movie that, I've seen or something, we'll definitely talk about it, get into it. And if I ever get caught up with these comments, which at some point I do want to talk about. So obviously just watched Death Knot the other day, movie I got from Well Go USA. And I watched this Silent Night, and it's not a great movie, but it was kind of a fun movie. Kind of enjoyed that. And then this one, a nostalgic vibe here, is I found this Emmett Otter's Jugman Christmas. This one, even if you're not into Christmas, it's a Christmas movie, but very light. It's not Christmas in your face. You could watch this just as kind of a good, like positive story, but it's Muppets, Jim Henson Muppets. And then Christmas Evil, I watched this. I think a lot of people like this a lot better than I do, but it was still a fun movie from way back in the day. And then Cat's Eye, those were movies that I watched recently that I want to talk about. And then also these other movies that Fluff gave me, get through those. But The Monkey, what's up? Still in shock he's gone. I always saw him in the chat. Yeah, I know. The fact that we're never going to have Supervillain hopping in the chat anymore, it's very sad. It is very sad, and still hard to believe that he's gone. Monkey, I'm right. I'm right there with you. Are we still up until midnight on New Year's Eve? Antonis, always do. Always do. Makes sense because some of the actors are British. Oh, you're talking about The Shining? Pimp Nasty Nasty. What's up, Pimp Nasty Nasty? Master Chaos versus Sean Cool Duder movies. Oh, okay. And I don't want to start anything. I don't want anybody, going back to Cool Duder and saying OGP's talking crap. I am not. I'll tell you this. I have seen trailers for Cool Duder movies. I have never seen Cool Duder's movies, any of them. But Cool Duder's movies, they're different than Master Chaos movies. Master Chaos, like the movie we just saw, The Headless Horseman, and the Haunting of the Whaley House. These are movies that they have a production company behind them. He has a budget. He gets a crew. He gets a cast. They have a story, a plan. They go make a movie. Cool Duder's movies are being like crowdfunded and put together, like the best he can. And what I've seen is trailers. They look good. I am not knocking Cool Duder's movies. I have not seen them, but Master Chaos movies. I'll just say this: on Peacock, you can go watch. It's Peacock or Paramount, one of the two. You can go watch The Haunting of the Whaley House, a movie that Master Chaos made. Cool Duder's movies on Tubi. You do the math, and it's not to knock Cool Duder. A lot of it is budgets and the things that you have at your disposal to make these movies. But if you know, like one movie being on Paramount or Peacock and the other on Tubi will put on anything. And so I'm not knocking Cool Duder's movies at all, but Cool Duder's movie is on Peacock, is on Tubi. Master Chaos is on Peacock or Paramount. I'm not sure. Do the math on that. Is it a goddamn? Can I get a goddamn? What? Do you think Hollywood will ever be foolish enough to remake or reboot Die Hard franchising? You know what? They're remaking or rebooting everything they can. And so I think they will. Someday they will. It's probably some, person who's a little kid right now and who, 15 years or whatever, they're going to be like, oh, this person will be a perfect, replacement for Bruce Willis. But knowing Hollywood, if they're going to remake the Die Hard franchise, it's probably going to be Bruce Willis will be replaced by an Asian woman and forgive me, what's his name? He's going to be replaced. I mean, it's just like we can't just I don't even want to get into it. I don't even want to get into it with Hollywood. The studios in Hollywood are so fucked. It's just so fucked. Hollywood, it just will drive you nuts. And that's why I love, and I really hope they're true to their word and what they're saying they're trying to do, where Matt Damon and Ben Affleck are creating their own studio to make movies that are good quality movies and that aren't going to be forced to comply with certain things that movies in Hollywood are. So I really hope that they're true to that. You've seen Kid Rock live. Pimp Nasty. I have not seen Kid Rock live. I've seen Kid Rock in Vegas walking into a hotel, but I've never seen him perform live. I would love to. I like Kid Rock. I got no problem saying that. I do. Going way back, Ba with the Daba, the Cowboy. Man, I'm down with some Kid Rock music, and especially like the new one, like Podunk. He's got some new good music too. Now I have a reboot. Ho ho ho. Have you seen Fallen with Denzel? You know what? I think I just recently bought Fallen. It'd be up there. I got shit in the way. I can't get to it. But I just recently bought Fallen. I can't remember if I've seen, I want to say I've seen Fallen. I love Denzel. I've seen like a lot of Denzel movies. I don't know if I could say all or nearly all, but I love Denzel. I can't remember if I've seen that one or not. 648 subs. Nice. Very cool. And I know it's always fun talking to you all. What is your opinion that makes producers and studios fear the audience won't get the movie and prior to the audience seeing said movie? I just think when you look at in general, especially in the United States, what is the most consumed type of media or entertainment out there? It's TikTok. You get everybody sitting here looking at these stupid little TikTok videos, which 90% of them are like, watch till the end and nothing happens. Or they say, oh, this is, whatever they say is supposed to be happening is completely wrong. And it's like the dumbing down of America. And the crazy thing is, like, apparently in China, TikTok has to be like accurate and informative, educational, or something like that. But over here, TikTok is making American kids stupid. And they don't want to take the time to watch an hour and a half movie and have to think about it. They want somebody, walking through a door that has plastic wrap and hitting themselves in the face. They want something. Give me that instant gratification. The Americans just don't have the patience for, a good story anymore. And so I think studios are like, and the frustrating thing is, especially like with The Shining, if you would look at The Shining, the target audience on The Shining back in the day, if they even cared about a target audience, if you made The Shining now, you would say the target audience on that is probably the maybe like 30 to 50-year-old range, 30-year-olds to 50-year-olds. The target audience for Dr. Sleep, I felt, was like a 14-year-old girl. Like the target audience was like teenage girls, because you have the girl and she's, going to win this battle. And it, like, the Stranger Things influence and stuff. They're just, Americans don't have the patience. They want the instant gratification. I think studios are catering to that, and just to make the buck. And it's frustrating for, people who love good films. Taxi Driver, a good example of leaving everyone with questions. Yeah, no, Taxi Driver, phenomenal movie. But again, made in the 70s, back when we cared about stories. Killer Care Bear, good night, brother. Watch the rest of the show tomorrow. No, hey, Killer Care Bear, yeah, if you're still here, because I know I'm 20 minutes behind now, have a good night and take care of yourself. We'll talk soon for sure. For us, Red Dragon, we find a bit more fun and more interesting in silence, whereas silence more uncomfortable rather than investing in the outcome. Thoughts? No, you know what? And that's there's a reason that Manhunter was made first, and Manhunter, matching Red Dragon. That is, out of all of them, that is probably the best story out of all the Hannibal movies. The movie Hannibal's great. Ray Liotta's, a great actor. But parts of it are a little hokey, whereas Red Dragon is pretty damn intense. And I just love the fact that what's his name now went, from being, the Red Dragon to now being the lead in The Menu. And I am dying to see The Menu. I didn't get a chance to do it, but why am I looking at images here? Ralph Fiennes, phenomenal actor. Absolutely love him. Ralph Fiennes is amazing. But Red Dragon, no, you're right. As far as for me, just because Silence of the Lambs being my first exposure to Hannibal Lecter, I love it the best. Second would be Red Dragon. Third would be Manhunter. Then Hannibal. Then Hannibal Rising. I'd put them in that order. But also, I thought Mads Mikkelsen, at first I couldn't embrace it, but in the show on Hannibal, I thought Mads Mikkelsen, at first I was like, oh, this isn't like Anthony Hopkins. I'm having a hard time with this. And, I thought Mads Mikkelsen did a phenomenal job. He is a great actor. And I thought he, by the end of it, I was like, he is Hannibal Lecter. He is. And, it's 11:30 at night. It's raining and I'm hearing voices outside. Weird. I love everything Hannibal. Hannibal controlled Clarice. She didn't even know that. I know, right? No, and that's what is such, good writing when you're finding these things out later. What was it? Moffat, and she, she's having to realize, oh, wait, I have to decode this. And, and then she finds the storage locker and stuff. And it's crazy. Blackbeard, Notorious OG Pizzle. What a surprise live stream. Thank you. Well, thank you very much for dropping in. Hopefully you're still here. I know I'm 25 minutes behind on the comments, but Whisper, I'm having such a great time talking movies with Whisper. Such great questions, and I love diving in and really dissecting why we love movies and what is so good about them. But thanks for dropping by, Blackbeard. And congrats, Blackbeard, on winning the prize over there on What Movie One's channel last night. And to our winners, I gave Frank C got the copy of Death Knot already out in the mail, and Turtles, Geeked Out Turtles, the ring and the cheesy gloves are already in the mail on the way to Turtles too. Let's see here. Never really appreciated Goodfellas. Never got the connection, but we love the Untouchables. Oh, the Untouchables is great too. Yeah, and so Goodfellas. That's one of those. It's the movie that I think for most Americans, when we imagine what a New York mafia gangster is, and there's kind of like like a lore to them that's like they're bad guys, like the Tony Soprano, the anti-hero. We love the anti-heroes. But when we kind of imagine what life would be like as a gangster, Goodfellas really gave us what we thought they would be like. And how you would have this dramatic rise to power and money and everything, and then it would all fade away. It's such a good movie, but I can understand, and here's the thing, there's not every genre is for everybody, and not every movie is for everybody. But Goodfellas might be like Goodfellas, or like the Godfather movies. Probably if you took a poll, those are going to be like the two people's most commonly favorite mob movies ever. I think it is what it is. What's the best thing about gardening? Getting down and dirty with your hose. Oh yeah. Way Up Dude in the house. What's up, Way Up Dude? Yeah, and it's so funny. There's you see like on Instagram, and it's probably a TikTok video that carried over to Instagram, but it's like what's a show? Jeopardy with Alex Trebek, and they're talking about a garden tool that is also, the name is for, I can't remember, something bad, whatever, right? And the guy answers and he goes, what is a hoe? Alex Trebek's like, it was supposed to be a rake, but so funny. But he was right. He was very accurate about the hose. On your point of Godfather, what is about part 3 don't like? Surely the scene on the steps of the opera is one of the best scenes, but the movie as a whole is a bit weird. Versus 1 and 2. No, it was different. And 1 and 2 were just, I don't know. They were I could go on and on and on. And if I'm gonna ever get caught up in these comments, I can't. But just right off the bat, like you look at Pacino and his hair, he didn't look the part anymore. It wasn't that classic cool character. It was more chaotic and crazy and almost an element of like an action adventure movie at times and stuff, where the Godfather movies, they're not supposed to be like action movies. They're supposed to be deep in story, and that has a little bit of chaotic, or action elements where you fear for these characters. Like, something bad is going to happen. You don't know what, it was you're watching the first time, but something bad's going to happen. Where in Godfather 3, we're just sitting there waiting. Okay, this is going to go wrong. This is going to go wrong. This is going to go wrong. Like it didn't. I don't know. For me, it did not have the quality of story, the depth of the story that the first two had. The voice for the Iron Giant is Vin Diesel on a Wiki Network. Well, that's cool. Vin Diesel, don't like, I'm okay with him. I don't dislike him. I don't like him. Whatever. Like he's just there. I'll tell you what. The movie Pitch Black, love it. The rest of that franchise, but Pitch Black, great movie. Halo's Finest, what up? Did you see Smile? Thought it was dumb. So Smile, that movie to me, it was okay. I think, I don't remember what I rated it on Letterboxd. I might have given it like a 6 or 6.5 or something. It was okay. I kind of liked, the craziness and the way the people were being possessed as we go through the movie. But it didn't end. It did not give us an ending. And so I think they're setting it up for a sequel or whatever. That frustrated me. Not the deepest movie ever, not the best, writing ever. But it was okay. It's one that I saw it once. I'm done. I don't need to ever go back and watch it again. But I didn't hate it. But at the end, I was like, what the fuck? Where's the ending? You're gonna set it up for like a sequel, and I don't want a sequel. I've had enough, so yeah. It's just it's out there. Dr. Sleep could have still played if what was happening was real or not, so the mystery's still there. Yeah, no, okay, because so what was happening, because in The Shining, we're having to like figure out, is the kid talking to ghosts? Is there ghosts or not? We're having to figure that out. In Dr. Sleep, you got the guy communicating with the girl through the The Shining. What allows them to communicate with each other? They are communicating with each other, as the one is being kidnapped and driven away and everything. Like they're using their telekinetic powers to talk to each other and stuff. So there is no questioning it. It's really there. The Shining is like, in the first one, we had to guess what The Shining was. In this one, The Shining, it's laid out. We already know. We've seen the movie The Shining, so we understand. But there was no guessing with it. It's the girl who's overcoming, the things in life that are setting her back and holding her back, and she has this power, and now she's learned how to use it, and she's like gonna come save the day. Like, oh, fuck off. It was all just laid out. There was nothing to think about with Doctor Strange, and it was like if The Shining was made now, it would probably piss me off, because what studios would make it be. Has live streaming or YouTube in general changed your life in any way? Has notoriety enriched your troubled life, privacy? Just curious, what's it be like being visible in the spotlight? Well, Whisper, I wish, I wish. So like it says down here, the notorious OGP. I wish I was notorious, but no, I mean, getting close to 6,000 subs. But there's like, when I go to conventions, there's people that will see that recognize me from YouTube videos and stuff, that are all part of this community and stuff, and we're all friends. You see me, we're not seeing you're just seeing me, but we're all just friends here hanging out talking. So in this community, at conventions and stuff, I'll see people that recognize me. But in general, the rest of my life, I live like any other normal Joe Schmo walking down the street. But we've had some trolls in the past that have gone a little too far, and the best thing with them is we just ignore them and they end up going away. But no, hey, I hope someday, from being in a couple movies and helping out with movies, and if it ever gets out there, I've directed a movie. I got another movie I produced that are going to be coming out soon. You can go watch. You can Google me and go watch movies on Tubi that I'm in. But it really hasn't impacted my life, and definitely YouTube. I'm not making much money off of this, off the monetization or whatever, the super chats and stuff like that. I'm not making a lot. And right now, what I do is all the money that comes in, it just gets reinvested in the channel. And that's why every Monday we do these giveaways. Yesterday we gave away, 2 things, spinning the wheel and all the stuff, having a lot of fun giving away. I just love hanging out with you all, and, love paying it back. You got to sit there and watch those little commercials. So I'll do what I can and give away movies from time to time, but every single Monday we're doing the giveaways. So, that's the way I'm just kind of paying it back. So not really doing that, but there are things in my life that I do keep private, and I don't talk a lot about my wife or kids and things like that, just because the second you do, you get somebody wanting to see their feet, or something that will wind up getting me arrested. So the family stuff and personal things do kind of stay out of this a little bit. But channel members get to see a little bit more of my life. The channel members get to see some more of where I am on a day-to-day basis and stuff like that. But in general, the general public, there's a lot going on in my life that you don't get to see. But there are times too, like I took the trip to Boston a couple months ago, and you saw the video of us like at the Patriots game or at the Red Sox game or at these different places around New England. And you get little clips of, like me with my family, but still, putting out YouTube videos. So you don't see everything that's going on. Let's see. Gloom Bloom, what's up? Saw something crazy today. Your Best Buy 2 guy stabbed another for the Halloween End Steelbook. A guy head and the Magnolia section till he was arrested. Crazy. Halloween End Steel. Stabbed another guy for the Halloween Steelbook. What, in his head? Stabbed him in his head? And man, the idea of stabbing somebody or fighting over a movie, like, man, that is nuts. That they hate for a film that I know, right? Halloween Ends, like, it sucked so bad. And you could get the trilogy 2018 Kills and Ends for $55 at Walmart 4K. You could get that trilogy for $55. I haven't pulled the trigger because I hated Ends so much. 2018, not bad. I was happy with it till the end. And then like Kills had its moments. It had a couple goofy things, like the rah hospital scene where the town's going to go get him. That was, but in general, Kills was okay. But then Ends, fuck Ends. Like, that's why I'm like, not even going to go get the trilogy for $55. So yeah, it's nuts. People are just crazy. Let's see. I have someone edit your short films while I edit your videos. Well, nice. That's cool. Yeah. Yeah. If I could have somebody edit my videos, man, sign me up. But that would cost a lot of money. That would. And I got to offer. My buddy Justin's like, dude, when you get to like whatever 100,000 subs or whatever, like, hire me. I'll edit your videos. And I'm like, sure, I'd love to do that. And Justin, you want to talk about an editor. You want to talk about an editor. Phenomenal. He's Justin's resume. If you look him up on IMDb, he's worked on Ridiculousness and Wicked Tuna and all these like famous shows that everybody knows. So if I could have somebody like that editing my YouTube videos, that would be phenomenal. But that would cost a lot of money, and I don't have that money. So I have enough space to do both short film. Yeah, no, that's cool. I got the time to do it, but it's just like I don't want to spend all my free time sitting here editing. What are your thoughts on a racing movie or actors because the actors badly? E.g. Kevin Spacey. I know that sucks because Kevin Spacey has been a part of some amazing movies, and then we find out that the guy's a pervert, or he's a lot of it. And Kevin Spacey, call him what you will, he is a victim of the industry. He is a victim of where like Hollywood is such a screwed up place. And you look at all these, movie people that are like getting arrested for being perverts and taking advantage of their power and making women do things that they shouldn't. There's so much of that kind of shit going on in Hollywood. So not to excuse it, but he's almost, when he sees that going on and that being the norm and feeling like he can do it because other people are, as a society, that stuff happens. Like we go to the grocery store and we see the person next to us leave their shopping cart in the middle of a parking spot instead of putting it back in the little cart return place. And then we think, you know what, screw it. He did it. I could do it too. And that's on a much lesser level than what Kevin Spacey did. But these actors and these directors and producers and they all think they can do whatever they want because they're famous. But that's what Hollywood's taught them they can do. And so it's a shame. But as far as the movies, like, hey, I still like movies that O.J. Simpson was in. I still like some Kevin Spacey movies. I don't know. Like in the thing with like Amber Heard, like, oh shit, like Aquaman, we got to go take Amber Heard out of Aquaman. You know what? She's a bitch. 90% of Hollywood actresses are bitches. They're stuck up. They're conceited. They're so full of themselves. They are Amber Heard. And so to go say, oh, we gotta, Amber Heard slapped her husband. She did this. She took a shit on a bed. we watch the Kardashians. Look at those shitheads. And I mean, not we, believe me, I don't, but like as a society, we watch people that do this shit, that behave like this, and then we move on and we carry on with it. Like, to me, I'm not throwing away any movies that Kevin Spacey was in. What he did, if he did, because he was just exonerated for some charges, but if he is as bad of a person as people are saying now, I won't go buying any more movies that he was in, but what I have, I'm not going to get rid of. But the idea, hey, if a company, Paramount Plus, says, you know what, we're taking down all Kevin Spacey movies, more power to them. And if they don't, there's going to be people out there that say, well, shame on you. You shouldn't be making money off of him. And I get that. So they're in a tough spot. And I'm glad I'm not there. Meant to say one guy hid Magnolia section. Oh, till he was arrested. Oh, wow. That's nuts. That is nuts. Yeah, no, dude, what kind of losers are going to stab each other over a steelbook? Mm-mm. Is there a fundamental difference between UK and US humor? Is British more highbrow, or is US not everyone's reach to connect with? So I don't know. I think there's elements to that, I think, but I think British people are a lot more thick-skinned. Americans love to get offended by everything now. I mean, we just love to get offended and sue people. That's all we want to do. You can't tell jokes without somebody, getting all offended. So I just think in general, as a society, we're seeing it. Oh, I'm so offended. I'm so offended. But then you got somebody who, went out and did like something extremely racist. And then they go, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do it. And then everybody goes, oh, okay. All right. It's cool. Like the US, like they're just such pansies, and, I wish Americans could just have a sense of humor and have a little thicker skin. And I feel like kind of like, that's maybe the way British folks are. Irish folks, definitely. I definitely know Irish folks can take a joke. That's one thing you never hear. You never hear Irish folks. And I think I've seen memes about this too. You never hear Irish folks going out like bitching about, like what somebody else said about me. Like you're not going to, like you wouldn't hear me bitching about like what one woman said to another, and I don't know either of them or something. Like, I'm not going to get offended by that. There's nothing to do with me. I'm going to live my life. But no, like as Americans, we're being taught now that we need to pay attention to what everybody else is doing because we watch the Kardashians and we need to get offended by it. It's just, it's a tough world right now. It's a very tough world. There's a lot of bullshit being thrown at us. And unfortunately, some people perceive it as reality when it's really not. Did the Asylum only distributed the Headless Horseman, or did they also help with the production? No. The Asylum is the company behind it. They're the ones like that helped him make it. They hired him to make that movie. Believe it was Master Chaos' story, his idea, but it's basically their movie. He didn't just get them to distribute it. And the Asylum is not one that really goes out and just buys movies. They have people make movies for them and they put them out. They're not really, that's not really a company you can take a movie to and go, hey, will you distribute this for me? They're not like that really. I have The Haunting of the Whaley House that I won from one of your giveaways. Nice. Yeah, no, Ortega, you definitely got to watch it. And that's probably the one I was at. Where were we at? Son of Monster Palooza or something, where I had Master Chaos sign it. Or maybe it was just at Monster Palooza, where I had Master Chaos sign it. And then like the pen was like, for whatever reason, was not going good. So it was a red pen, but it came out like kind of pinkish looking, his autograph on it, if that's the one that you have. But anyways, no, it's good. It's really good. You can, even if you don't can't find it, you could stream it. It's out there. You could stream it. It's good. Haunting of the Whaley House, a good movie. Any signs of Willis' illness apart from the low quality movies he made in the end? So I don't think his illness determined the movies he was making. I think that was just strictly because he was making those movies because he had a bad rep. like he was regarded as being a dickhead and hard to work with. And he would always go on set and go like, we shouldn't do it this way. We need to do it this way. And if you didn't do it his way, he got pissed off. And so he was regarded as being hard to work with. And so people didn't want to work with him anymore. And that's why he kind of fell off, and he was having to do whatever he could do to get by. I mean, not that he needed money to get by or whatever, but to do movies, he was doing whatever he could. And the cool thing is, yeah, a guy that, I was, so me, Cool Duder, Fat Samurai Guy, a bunch of us were all in Cinestalker, What Movie One. We were all in like background actors in this movie. What was that movie called? I can't remember the name of the movie right now, but we were all background actors in this movie that Jared Cohn directed. And Jared Cohn basically 10 years ago was like kind of like nothing, just starting his career. Now he's like, man, he is directing big time movies. He just directed a movie. It was like either Bruce Willis' last or second to last movie was directed by Jared Cohn. And I interviewed him on the set of son of a bitch, whatever that name of that movie was. But yeah, I got a YouTube video where I interviewed him about the movie while we were on set and stuff. So it's really cool that, I know somebody like on a personal level that is a director that made a movie with Bruce Willis. That's pretty badass. And a friend of mine, Cheryl, who's, won't even get into it, but I'm in a couple projects with Cheryl, but Cheryl, she was from Vegas and she recently moved out to like New Orleans, but she in one of the other movies, one of the other Bruce Willis last movies, she played his wife in one of these last movies. Holy crap, I'm back was the first thumbs up, people. Thanks being chilly. No, yeah, everybody, if you would, that'd be cool. Hit the thumbs up button if you wouldn't mind. That'd be awesome. It helps out the algorithms, gets the channel out there more. But yeah, no, we're just I know I'm an hour and 36 minutes in, and I meant to come on and talk about some movies. I haven't got there yet. We have some riveting conversations. Such fun. I love to sit here talking movies. Oh, we got bots. I gotta block some people here. Hang on a second. Oh man, gotta hate the bots. Hate the bots. Let's see here. Yeah, no, sorry. And so I was trying to get caught up in the comments, and so the bots got me here. Do the channel members get to see your feet? I'll tell you what, if you become a channel member and you ask to see my feet, I'll show you my feet. Deal. Let's see here. Just take down K-Pax. There you go. So let's see here. So we'll jump back. We were right before the bots. Hopefully I hit block, but they're still showing here. Regarding your point on TikTok, are trailers and teasers equivalent to instant gratification nature of TikTok? Watch the end, everything before. So that's, there are times where you watch a trailer and then you see the movie and you're like, well, shit, I saw everything I needed to see in the trailer. And that's kind of frustrating. But I think trailers, movie teasers, we need them because, that's how you promote the movie. You shouldn't give us all of it, but let us kind of know what's going on in the movie a little bit. Just give us a tidbit of it. And then show us something else, action or craziness or intensity or whatever that's going to draw us in to want to watch that movie. We need those, and it's fine. But, and I'm not saying all TikTok's bad. Believe me, there's times where I'm like laying in bed and I can't sleep or I got a headache or whatever, just can't fall asleep. And I'm sitting here scrolling, looking at stupid little videos and stuff. So I'm not saying it's like, it's something we should not do, but I'm saying that it's so many people now just need that. They don't, because they have that instant gratification. They don't want to sit there and watch and have to think. And that's where it's unfortunate, but you talk to kids nowadays. Oh, what books have you read or this or that or whatever. Like, books. Why do I need to read books when I can learn everything I want on TikTok? So it's kind of more that, than being, like trailers being a bad thing. Movie trailers, we need them. It's like advertisement for whatever. You need those out there. The Schindler's List benefit from being black and white? Are there movies that should have been in black and white rather than color? There are movies that could have been done in black and white. off the top of my head, I can't think like specifically, oh, this or that should have been in black and white. But to me, I think Schindler's List being in black and white, it made the audience pay attention to the story, I think, more than the bright colors or, whatever, like the Wizard of Oz. Like, we go from black and white to this crazy fancy story, everything colorful and crazy and so much to look at, all this eye candy, and all that. Whereas Schindler's List, it wasn't about that. You weren't supposed to get excited because a tank drove by or whatever. You were supposed to be emotionally connected to these people that were going through a living hell. And so I think taking away the color took away some of that, some of the just, whatever you want to call it, eye candy or whatever that would draw us to movies. And I think it's great the way it is. I don't think, like, if they ever remake it, which God forbid, I hope they never do, but if they ever do, hopefully it's still in black and white. So the emphasis is on the people that story's about, not the crazy colors or things around them. And don't get me wrong, like some of the best things ever created are the Pacific and Band of Brothers. They're absolute phenomenal miniseries based on World War II. And, and they're in color, and that's fine. But I think when you're dealing with, all these, Jewish people that were just going through a living hell, there was, once they're realizing there's nothing in life to look forward to, and just how bad of a situation they're in, the gloom bloom aspect of it too is, plays. But I just think it's kind of, it makes you just focus on what you're hearing and stuff rather than, seeing all that, the Megatron flying through outer space or whatever you'd see, crazy action movies and stuff. But there could be, and I don't mind watching black and white movies, and, especially like Christmas time, we just, Miracle on 34th Street, White Christmas, Christmas in Connecticut, some of these old Christmas movies like that are just great, great stories. They're all about the stories, more than the craziness going on around them. And so, I'm good with black and white, because I enjoy a story. Give me a good story, more than craziness. Your opinion of Sean Connery as Malone in Untouchables? Was Sean Connery an older Bond in The Rock? Oh, was he an older Bond in The Rock? Well, I mean, he was the motives in The Rock for what he was trying to do, is he was doing some messed up shit to prove a point, because, man, yeah, I don't know, because I don't think Bond would ever do that stuff. Like, I don't think Bond would ever take over and, want to blow cities up and stuff. But, so, I don't know about that. But, I think like Sean Connery, phenomenal actor. And, I can't, like, I think about Sean Connery movies and I'm like, it's like, okay, what is a bad Sean Connery movie? I can't think of one. Everything he's done was great. And I know when Roger Moore passed away, somebody, not somebody, a few people were giving me shit because Roger Moore was my favorite Bond. But, I think a lot of folks, especially a little older folks, Sean Connery was regarded as the best Bond ever. And Sean Connery's great, but I grew up with Roger Moore when I started watching, getting into Bond movies. Was Roger Moore. And so, I posted something about, my favorite, favorite James Bond passed away. And everybody's like, what? But that's an interesting thought of, was Sean Connery, was he really like, was that James Bond, but like, going to kind of try and wake the world up later in life. That's interesting. Goodfellas showed the side of the mob. It was unorganized. But here's the thing: the mob in general. We look at the mob, and you might go like, "Oh, well, it's this crime organization." And so you think, and there's structure. You've got bosses, and you got capos, and all these people, but none of them trust each other, and that's why they end up killing each other, because the lack of trust. Because you go to jail, who knows if you're going to flip or not. And so the organization, it's really like organized chaos, because what they're doing and what they're trying to do, they're never, you can't just say, okay, you can't just tell your guys, okay, go do this and then come back to me and pay me and we're good. It's always having to follow up and check on people, and if anything seems wrong, well, they just whack them or whatever. Is it really any more organized than what we saw in Goodfellas? I don't think so, based on what we know about how many people have been killed that were involved with the mob and everything. I think it's always been that way. I think movies maybe just portray it like The Godfather. It seems like a very organized family structure and everything, but there's still shit going on. There's still shit going on. And in most of, you think about, we make movies, we always make them about the mob bosses. We make them about the top guy. And that, that's like Star Wars. We make a movie about Darth Vader. We're not going to make a movie about, one of the stormtroopers, and the shit that they're dealing with and everything. So I think, in reality, you got the one guy who maybe he has a lot of structure in his life or whatever, but everybody under him, shit's chaotic. So I think it really is like, I think that really was kind of a glimpse of reality. And, when they make these movies, they go talk to people that have firsthand knowledge, whether they're, on the law enforcement side or whether they're on the mob side. They're talking to people and getting input as far as how things would have happened and how things did happen. So, I don't know. I think it's pretty accurate. You vote for me to be the mod. For the mod, what's a mod? I'm missing it. Merci Boboob. What? The Godfather was the respectful mobsters, where Goodfellas was the unrespectful mobsters. But as time changed, Godfather, the original one, was taking place, in a time, in an era before Goodfellas was. And I think things might have been differently, done differently back then, because, way back in the day, if you pissed off the boss, he was going to kill you, and there was going to be no repercussions, because they didn't have the forensic evidence and DNA and things like that way back in the day. You're just going to get whacked, and that was the last we'd ever see from you. You'd be at the bottom of Lake Havasu, or you're the bottom of Lake Tahoe, just swimming with the fishes or sleeping with the fishes, but yeah, no, you're right about that. Surely Godfather reflects on the honorable gangs of the days that you can always respect, whereas the gangs today are pale shadow. No, and that's right. I think crime and crime families, they're going to exist. I can't say always, because who knows what's going to happen 100 years from now, but right now, yeah, there is a criminal element, a mob or a mafia or whatever. But I think they're at a time now where technology and information has passed up the mob. And I think the mob is trying to catch up, because with video cameras and computers and all this stuff, it's so hard for the mob to just go out and say, well, we're going to bully these people and we're going to control these unions and all this stuff that they can't do anymore. And I have, on a personal level, some very deep ties with Teamsters, and that's all I'm going to get into about that. But there is, like, in the Teamsters, I got to be careful here. So I knew a Teamster official. This official was dealing with some shit. I said to this Teamster official, well, I've got some buddies who we ride motorcycles. I can give them a call and we can go down and throw our weight around. And he goes, don't do that. Any connection between any association or any group of people that are affiliated or looked at as criminals cannot have any connection with Teamsters at all, or that Teamster is going to get the boot. They're out of there. So they're very careful after everything that went on with Jimmy Hoffa and a lot of things with the Teamsters that were very bad and sideways. The Teamsters now are very, very careful who they associate with. And so you can't just go around throwing your weight around as criminals anymore as easily as you could in the past, because of the evidence, the, fingerprints and DNA and, video cameras everywhere and stuff. So, and tracking on your phones and all this. So I think, the mob is definitely behind the game right now, but I think they're probably looking, and they're probably more white collar than anything now. Al Pacino was menacing in the Godfather films. In the first two, he was really intense. In the third one, I thought he was kind of hokey. Is it possible to make a hitman movie? Is Agent 47 unable to have an arc in a feature since his life revolves about hits? I think you could. I think you could write a story if you look at the person, and really kind of look at, with like, those type of movies, we look at what they're doing in their life, and the events of them going out to make these hits and doing this stuff. We don't spend a lot of time with them, or we like to believe that they don't have any remorse or any feelings about, people that they've killed. I think a movie about a hitman who's like severely battling depression because of all the lives that he's ended might be really good. And maybe a story about, a hitman, if he killed somebody and then come to find out that, that person somehow or another had, close ties to somebody that he really cared about or something like that. And then the emotional roller coaster that he was on because of that or something like that. You could do something, but I don't know that there are any movies like that where we really take an emotional journey with, like a hitman or anybody in that genre. Do you think they're going to make Heat 2 now their book release? I don't know. I haven't heard anything, but Heat is a great movie. Did I ever ask or want a sequel? No. It's just one of those movies. It was great. It was good. Thank you. I love it. Leave it alone. If they make it, I hope it's good. That's all I could say. I just hope it's good. Michael Corleone was more terrifying than Scarface because Michael is more calm and strategic. Yes, no, 100%. And that's, I'll tell you, like Scarface, I know a lot of people love Scarface. Not in my top 5. Maybe not even my top, probably not even my top 10. Like, Mob or, movies like that. Just Scarface was okay. It was good. Say hello to my little friend. I mean, very, very like nostalgic at this point and stuff. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Just didn't do much for me. The original Godfather won his business because his heart, but Michael lost it because he didn't have heart. No, and that's exactly it. Is Michael being forced into the life, because of what was going on with his family. He wasn't pushed in, but he was kind of dragged in because of what was going on with his family, and but he wasn't prepared for it. Where watching The Godfather 2, we learn what his father went through and, learned about, respect. And he saw these older, Godfather people and how they conducted themselves, their businesses, these older mobsters that he kind of learned from. And then so you see Michael, where he never wanted to be part of it. He kind of almost tried to ignore the fact that, his dad was in this business and stuff. And then, so he didn't really, he handled it more with emotion than his dad was more, kind of, didn't let the emotions control his decisions. So yeah, definitely, definitely two different characters, and it shows you not always father like son. Wheel of Doom. It's 3:00 in the morning on the East Coast. I don't know that we're going to do the Wheel of Doom right now, being chilly. OGP, your shirt reminds you of the new Tom Brady film. So yeah, it was 80 with Brady. Man, I had an opportunity to go see that before it was released, an advanced screening. And at the time, Brady was actually, it was during preseason when Brady left camp. And I thought, well, man, is Brady going to be out in LA for this? Come to find out, Brady was dealing with, problems with Giselle. So I don't think he would have been there. But there was an advanced screening that some of the ladies that are in that movie, 80 with Brady, were at, that I could have been at. But that screening was on a Monday night. And what do I do on Monday nights? Oh yeah, hang out with you guys. So that was one of those where I would have had to cancel the show on Monday. And Mondays are one day that I have everything blocked out. I don't do or plan anything on Mondays because I've committed to being here. And so that's why I want you to have, you all as, viewers coming in, tuning in on Mondays, coming to talk about movies or whatever we're going to talk about, or just coming in to win a prize. And I don't fault you if that's what you're here for. I have blocked out Mondays. And so I did not go to that because it would have been on a Monday. Do the channel members get to see? Oh yeah, I got that already. Sorry. There are actors like Tom Sizemore and Eric Roberts that went under. Eric Roberts has been in a couple, bigger productions, but to me, Eric Roberts has always been who he is because of his sister. He's an okay actor. He's not a great actor. I've never seen anything where I'm like, damn, Eric Roberts was great in that. But he's a name. And so I know a lot of indie movie companies, they go like, oh, we can get, Eric Roberts in our movie, and, anybody could get him. You got $1,000 a day, you can get Eric Roberts. Yeah. Just it's sad when you see famous actors kind of fall off, but I don't know that Eric Roberts is really ever in that upper echelon. Joker 2 is coming. Is Joaquin's Joker unable to exist in Batman's universe? Is Joaquin's Joker ill-equipped to deal with the Batman due to his mental illness? And so, you know what? I would have loved if we would have got and they're obviously taking place at, okay, so this is as the Joker is becoming the Joker. That is when, and I guess what I perceive as when Batman is still younger. Bruce Wayne is still younger. And so now when, we got the Batman with Pattinson, the Joker would have already been doing his thing. And Batman was, in the Batman, it was like a younger Batman, than like what we had with the Dark Knight trilogy. So would that have worked? I don't know. I was good with both of those stories. And at first, when the Joker came out, I was like, how is this going to work without Batman? And it was amazing. It was phenomenal. And you really kind of adapt, kind of understand and feel for with the shit that's going on in the Joker's world. And, he kind of becomes that Tony Soprano character that you're, he's a really bad person, but you're rooting for him. And I would have loved, just because of how great that movie was and how great the Batman was, I would love if we would get Joaquin and Robert Pattinson in a movie together. It doesn't sound like it's ever going to happen, but I would really love it. And I'm really hoping, like, I don't have any issues with Lady Gaga. Supposedly she was in a movie with what's his name, Phil from The Hangover. I'd never seen it. They sing or something in it. Lady Gaga, she's got some decent music. Okay, fine, whatever. She wears suits made out of meat. That's kind of funny. So, okay, whatever. But yeah, do we need Lady Gaga in Joker? You know, or Joker 2? Man, I hope it's good. That's I don't know. I'm gonna have to wait and see. But I would have loved to get because especially, like, I thought Robert Pattinson did such a phenomenal job. I was really leery going into the Batman because I did not care for the Twilight movies. But I thought he did a phenomenal job. Robert Pattinson is a brilliant actor. I thought he did great, and him and that dark world, that evil dark world that Robert Pattinson's Batman was existing in would have been perfect for the Joker. With Joaquin. And I don't know. I hope it happens someday, but I don't think it is, and it's kind of sad. But I don't think so. In talking about would his Joker be able to deal with the Batman? What we saw in the first Joker was younger Joker, and so and we're perceiving, or we're going on the thought that the Joker is what, 15, somewhere between 10 and 20 years older than the Batman. He's older. So if he's older, then where he is in that part, in the Joker, then Batman would be younger. So if you fast forward, get him out of, out of the Joker movie and establishing more of his dominance as the Joker and his control over the city, and let him gain his kind of composure and realizing that once he, because at the very end we see him realizing that all these people are starting to idolize him. You can kind of see his mental state change a little bit, but he obviously is a very fragile, mind. And so at times he's going to crack and do bad things and stuff, but I think it would have been great. I would have loved to have, if they would ever explore that. But I don't think it's going to happen. Is it time to retire Marvel and DC and time to create new characters? I wish there's so much. It seems like 90% of stuff in Hollywood is just rewrites, reboots, stealing ideas from other stuff. Like, man, I would love some new movies. There's so many phenomenal writers out there, or books that could be turned into movies, but no, Hollywood wants to remake the same shit over and over and over. And I just don't understand. Hollywood hates Katherine Heigl with a passion. So they haven't replaced her in the Grey's Anatomy episodes. I say Kevin Spacey will not be replaced. Yeah, and that's there are a lot of actors that have come out and spoke their mind, and James Woods, one of them, who they're basically blacklisted now. Kirk Cameron was probably like the first, because he, was kind of a Bible thumper, but Kirk Cameron's a little bit out there. But Hollywood, man, they don't like when people have opinions, especially when they're not in line with theirs. But no, the idea that you would go back and edit a movie or remake a movie, that stuff's not going to happen. What are your thoughts? Ever a fan of the X-Files? So I remember, the X-Files back in the day, I enjoyed it. Never as much as like, Twilight Zone, or some other things that I would kind of put in that same kind of category. But the X-Files, I remember watching it, the show and one of the movies, and I enjoyed it. But it came back, and I never got back into it. I just had a lot going on in life. But I love, a lot of the stories of the X-Files. I think it is a very cool premise. And every time I've ever watched it, I've always enjoyed it. Maybe some episodes or whatever better than others, but I've always enjoyed it. I thought it was a very good show, and there's so much you could do with that. Dang, I wish the Asylum hired me to direct an Asylum film. So Dominic, go make a bunch of your own movies. Get yourself a resume not like writing a resume, make a resume, as in direct some, even if it's stuff you're funding, even if it's zero budget stuff, direct some things, make some things. So, somebody could go to IMDb and look and go, oh, Dominic made this and this and this. That's amazing. Okay, we'll hire you. You got to go out and do the work if you want to get in. That is for sure. And I know you are, Dominic, but just, you got to make that, you got to get some stuff under IMDb if you want to go get one of these companies to start throwing money at you. Believe me, knowing what I know about what Master Chaos is dealing with making movies and stuff, there's nobody just sitting here passing out money, looking for people to make movies. It's very hard to get movies made. Very hard. Yeah, I got the red pinkish sign, blue. Yeah, that's right. And Sean signed it also. Yeah, because that's right. Sean was there. Yep. Do you regard screenwriters who adapt books or other material any lesser than screenwriters who create original stories? Yeah, I don't know, because here's the thing. A lot of times, you could be hired as a screenwriter to adapt a book and make it a movie. But I think what they did with The Shining, it's a little bit different. There are parts of that movie that are different than the book. And I like both. And I don't look at that writer any lesser than I would somebody who created their own story. Sometimes, the best stories do just come from authors, from people like Stephen King, and then to take one of their stories and make it a movie. I don't see a problem with that at all. Are they different? Yes. Somebody who's going to go out and come up with a story and write it and develop their characters, and create the story as a screenwriter. It's a different art form to me than just taking, a book and adapting it for film. You're using your imagination, but not as creative as somebody who's creating something from the ground up. So I look at them differently, but I don't look at them any lesser. A job is a job. And if you can write something, no matter what it is, if it's, taking somebody else's work and adapting it or creating your own, if you can do that and get it and have a movie made about it, you have done something special, because it's hard to get movies made. Speaking of trailers, what's your opinion on the Yesterday trailer that was used to sue just because that the newest No Time to Die Bond lady at the bar was in the Yesterday trailer, but not in the film? So I remember yesterday, that's like the Beatles. Is that the movie about the Beatles, or like the guy that was a fan of the Beatles or whatever? And then is that the one where he went and got famous off Beatles songs? Yeah. Where the guy was he was a fan of the Beatles music, then something happened, the Beatles never existed, and so he made it like he came up with that music. I'd never heard about that, about the lady being in a trailer that wasn't in the movie. That I wouldn't know about. But sometimes when you make a movie, you film all this stuff, and then when you edit it, there are things that are cut out inevitably. And sometimes people get cut out of movies. If you've already put the trailer out and you had the intention of putting her in there, and then you decide later on, we don't really need that scene, tough shit. To me, you can't get mad at trailers for something like that happening, because it happens. Heath B, what's going on, Heath B? It's been a while. You see where Stephen Bonner passed. We'll never forget that fight between him and Forrest Griffin. You know what? No, you're right. And check this out. I got to look at this. Fluffy, Heath B. Man, I'm 20 minutes behind still. Look at Fluffy brought up on Christmas night. And we were checking him out. Boom, right there. So many good fights in here, including Bonner and Forrest Griffin and stuff. Man, I was like, I think I watched like 4 or 5 hours of this Christmas night. Even after Fluff left and went home, I was still sitting here watching UFC fights. But no, very sad. 45 years old. I think Bonner was just 45, if I remember right. Very sad. And no, a legend, a pioneer in that sport. That's for sure. Big business, true mob. Yeah, no, there, if you look the way society is set up, and you could be mad at it all you want, but if we did it the other way, it would be bad. And that's capitalist society. People are opportunists. And there's a difference. I think businesses typically I regard as opportunists more than well, I mean, if you do something that's illegal, it's illegal. But businesses generally, if they have an opportunity to do something that's within the law, even if it screws over people below them, it's not illegal. And so until you change the system to make what they're doing illegal, you can be mad at them. But what they're doing, it might be unethical, but it's not illegal. So they have the right to do it. What the mob does is not legal and not ethical. So you should be mad at them for doing it. So to me, a little bit different, but I get it. Big businesses do screw over people, and big businesses really try to keep people down so they can pay them less wages. But that's part of making money. It's capitalist. Otherwise, if we become communists, then I mean, we're going to get political, which I'm not going to do. You're going to have people that cheat the system. You look at Russia, the USSR back in the day, it's supposed to be everybody's on an even playing field, right? Well, that's not the case. You still had the rich and powerful. How is it rich and powerful if everybody's supposed to be equal? Because it doesn't work, so it's not perfect. And that's why I love, one thing I love about the United States, the United States is trying to make a more perfect union. It'll never be perfect, but you're trying to get more perfect, closer, more things perfect, or getting closer to perfect. You're never going to get there. But you got to remember, the American dream is not being rich. The American dream is being able to go get a house and have a family and live in peace and knowing you're not going to get bombed or people aren't going to come and rape your wife in the middle of the night and all that stuff. The American dream is being able to live and have a job and raise a family and do that. The dream is not to have somebody walk around handing out millions of dollars at a time. Because then, if everybody came and if everybody had $1 million, a house that costs 500,000 now is going to cost 10 million. Cause we can't all be rich. It sucks, but we can't. But it's just, man, that's a road we're not going down here. Heath Ledger turns to Phoenix and says, "Why so messed up in the head? I'm messed with the head. Want to see a magic trick." I'm not following you, monkey. Sorry. To your earlier point, it's hard for us to see Joaquin's Joker gaining dominance. And the other issue is Joker's age. He's quite older, almost becomes elderly when Bruce turns 20. Yeah, no, it is. It's weird. And that's so, like, I'll talk to like Matt quite a bit and stuff, and he loves reading comic books, and he's like, "Oh, this didn't happen in the comic, or this isn't the way it happened, or whatever." To me, one thing, especially about like Marvel or any type of superhero movies, that filmmaker is going to make their interpretation or make what they want. We can agree with it, we can disagree with it, but it's their art that they've created. You can like it or not like it. You can say it's right, you can say it's wrong or whatever, but that it is what it is. I'm looking forward to Joker 2 to see if Joker 2 ends and he is still off the rails, madman, manic depressant, all that. Then yeah, maybe it would never work. Maybe he would never have the dominance to fight Batman, to be as conniving as, the Riddler or the Penguin or something. But I think that's just something that we'll have to wait and see at the end of Joker 2, and then maybe answer that question. Because right now, at the end of the first Joker movie, he was just realizing what potential he had. I think it was just that awakening to the potential of what could be. And so I think we need to see Joker 2 to decide where the filmmakers go with his character. But yeah, the age in the movies is something that, if you really want to, get particular about everything. Yeah, it's, that's one of those, it's like, you could always nitpick and find, something that just doesn't mesh. And that's, I think if we ever see the Batman appear in a Joker movie, I think the age thing is not gonna equal out to the way it did in the first Joker movie. It's just Batman's gonna age faster. Would you boycott if they ever did a remake of Back to the Future, but making Michael J. Fox the new Doc Emmett Brown character, the new Doc Emmett Brown character as Marty McFly? Oh, so Marty McFly would be like the new Doc? I don't know. Here's the thing, Michael J. Fox, his health is pretty bad. I don't see him making another Back to the Future. And so I think at that point you would have to recast. And if you make a Back to the Future movie and you make Marty McFly with anybody other than Michael J. Fox, I don't want any part of it. To me, that franchise, I like the first one. I'm not really invested in that franchise like a lot of people are. The sequels, I don't care for at all. I don't care for the whole Biff's thing was kind of funny with the hotel and stuff. It was some funny moments, but they're not. The original Back to the Future was amazing. So if they did anything else with it, I wouldn't care. But if you're gonna have Marty McFly and somebody else, that would be a tough pill to swallow. What are your thoughts on Disney? How does it happen that a multi-billion-dollar company doesn't sketch out an entire arc for a new trilogy? No, you know what? Disney, you've got too many. What do they say? Not too many chiefs and not enough Indians. And I think that's why there's been some change at the top of Disney recently. But I don't think I don't think Disney cares about arcs or stories. They just flashing lights and flying people and explosions. And I think they think that's good enough. I don't think they care about stories. So, if they did, man, they would do some things different. Joseph, what up? You see the Megan trailer? Yeah, man, I cannot wait. What do we got? Like a week or so left? Week and a half or something till Megan comes out? Looking for that. That looks crazy. That looks like it's going to be wild. Definitely looking forward to that, Joseph. How do you embarrass an archaeologist? Give him a used tampon and ask him which period it's from. Oh, way up, dude. Oh, that's hysterical. That is hysterical. That's very funny. I like that. Oh man. Can you explain us the benefit of shaky cam? Man, oh man. I'm telling you, Whisper, there's a lot of things. Your questions, you're like nailing some pet peeves of mine. Never appreciated quick cuts or shaky camera. What are the benefits and what movies do it right? So, perfect example. We got the new Star Trek, the J.J. Abrams Star Trek movies, right? We get the first two. And then the third one, we get was it James Wan directed it? Who directed the third one? I might have been, was it James Wan? I can't remember. But anyways, in the third one, all of a sudden, like I'm getting nauseous. I'm getting like sick to my stomach watching the third one because the camera is like shaky movements, the whole camera. The benefits of shaky camera, it makes it appear as there's more going on than there really is. Like in a fight scene, if you got somebody throwing a punch, another guy throwing a punch, another guy throwing a punch, but if it's all shaky and crazy, it looks like a lot more, even though it's only the two fists. It gives the appearance that there's more going on. It's more entertaining to the eye. It does nothing for the story, and it drives me nuts. I do not like the shaky cam. But it's just, I think it's a film technique to make it look like there's more going on. It drives me nuts. And I don't know. I can't think of a movie offhand that I'm like, oh, that shaky cam was great. But I can't think of that third Star Trek movie. Let me pull up and try and figure out the name of the which one I'm thinking of here, because oh man, I loved the newer Star Trek movies. Let's see here. So you had Into Darkness, like with Chris Pine as Kirk. I loved it. Star Trek Beyond, and what was the other one? Star Trek Beyond, Into Darkness. Where's the other one? Zachary Quinto. Oh, here you go. Oh, and just Star Trek. So 2009, 2013, and then 16. So it was Star Trek Beyond was the one that drove me nuts. Justin Lin. And you know what Justin Lin is famous for, right? Justin Lin is famous for a franchise that I absolutely hate, and that is the Fast and the Furious. I hate the Fast and the Furious movies. Fluffy tried to get me to watch the first one. 15 minutes in, I was like, dude, what are you doing to me? Turn that shit off. I do not like the Fast and the Furious movies at all. And Justin Lin was a Fast and the Furious guy. And the whole like Star Trek Into Darkness, motorcycle chases, and what the fuck is this? This is not Star Trek. You're trying to make Fast and the Furious in outer space is what you're doing. And drove me nuts. But that one, if you watch that compared to the J.J. Abrams Star Trek movies, you watch that Justin Lin one, you'll notice a definite difference in the cinematic style of the directors. It's that one. It's so hard for me to watch that movie. Where to Fluffy get his name Fluffy from? So Antonis, so Fluffy was like way back in the day when we first started. Somebody asked yesterday what does OGP stand for? OGP stands for Other Goodwill Film, and now it's just OGP. It doesn't really stand for anything because it's irrelevant. But so when we first started the channel, we were the Goodwill Hunters. That's why if you look at the it's youtube.com/Goodwill Hunters, because it was the Goodwill Hunter channel. It was me and Fluff together, and I was more of like kind of like holding camera and stuff like that, and Fluffy was Goodwill Phil because we were going to Goodwills and we're playing off the movie Goodwill Hunting. And so then so he was Goodwill Phil, then I was the other Goodwill Phil. Well, then down the road, his niece drew a picture because she knew he was a fan of Gabriel Iglesias, and she's a fan of Gabriel Iglesias. And, and the whole, like, he's not fat, he's fluffy. So she called him in this picture she drew the Fluffy Gamer. And because he was fluffy, he wasn't fat, he was fluffy, and he was a gamer. So she called him the Fluffy Gamer, and that's where that came from. He kind of she came up with it, and he's like, well, that's what I'm going to be now. I'm going to be the Fluffy Gamer. So that's where that came from. Whisper, everyone this December has been shitting on Blair Witch more than every other film this month. I haven't, so I'm not sure where that comment is coming from. But the Blair Witch movies, I know the first one was kind of pioneering, where it was, one of our, we think about to found footage films and stuff, like it was like, like the first major movie supposedly getting people sick in the theater from the camera moving around and all that stuff. Oh, you're talking about the shaky camera stuff, right? So, the first one, people watch or whatever. And then the second one was not as good, and it was kind of different. And then the third one seemed like more of a true follow-up to the first one. But I never saw the Blair Witch in theaters. And a few years ago, I was sitting at home and I was like, I'm going to check out the Blair Witch. And I watched the first one. And I was like, okay, I dig it. I like it. And then, so I watched the second one. I was like, it's not as good. But I was like, well, I'm committed. I've already seen the first two. I got to watch the third. And I watched the third, and I liked it better than the second one, but not as good as the first one. But I think it's an okay franchise. And I think as a found footage, being that what that film is supposed to be, it's about people going out to make a documentary about, this shit going on in the woods. And so with them like running with the cameras or whatever, you're going to get that shakiness. So the shakiness served a purpose there. Was it hard to watch at times? Yes, but it served a purpose there. When you get a director who shakes the camera around to make it appear as there's more happening, like in that Star Trek Beyond movie, it just pisses me off. Be a better filmmaker. Make more action. Don't just shake the camera and make it look like. Let's see. I'll take your million. I want two. Okay, you can have them both. When they pass them out, be in Chile, you got mine and yours. Brokeback Mountain, great movie. All right, Coke Sonic. Another sequel remake. You lost me, Coke Sonic. Ace Styles, what up? Joker dies at the end of Joker 2. Post credits, you see Lazarus Pit and Splash. Spoiler alert! Joker dies. What? Heath Ledger's Joker was all mind games, while Phoenix was just in his mind. So Heath Ledger would always beat someone who's in his head more than messing with others. Yeah, yeah, and then the interesting thing about comic books and these, and what like we've come to associate, especially with DC, is that what a character was in one movie, or like the Dark Knight trilogy, Batman, like Robert Pattinson's Batman is a very different dude than the Dark Knight Batman. So, if there was more continuity between the films and everything, then I think we could criticize or, put them up against each other. But I just think because every time you get a new movie, it's different. So, and I don't think the filmmakers even, when they were making the Batman, I don't think they gave two shits about what happened in the Dark Knight trilogy. They were like, well, this is a different Batman, and whatever, that's fine. But it's hard to put them up against each other that way. What did you think of The Irishman? I thought The Irishman was good, Jordy. I liked it. It was long. It's not as good as Goodfellas or Casino or The Godfather, but I thought it was really good. I don't think it's accurate. I think that's not exactly how Jimmy Hoffa went out, in my opinion, and that my opinion is just based off of stories and things that I've heard over the years. My opinion's no better than anybody else's, but I think it was not exactly the way that that he went out. But I thought it was a good movie. I enjoyed it. It was long, but it was okay. I saw it at home. I did not see it in theaters, so I was able to pause, take a break, go to the restroom, whatever I had to do. So that was fine. If I saw it in theaters, I might be like, oh man, this is kind of long. And then, but you don't want to get up and go to the bathroom and miss something. So I saw it at home. But you know what I like even better than The Irishman is Kill the Irishman, with the one guy that likes cowbell, the Kill the Irishman. I thought that was a great movie. Kill the Irishman. Absolutely love it. But Irishman, I like it too. I thought it was a great movie. In the grand scheme of things, probably in my top 10 of favorite mob movies, but probably not top 5. Let's see. Back to the Future 2 is your favorite series. Oh, really? Okay, that's cool. Nice. And for me, I kind of, especially with franchises, depending on when you began to be exposed to movies, like if that was the first one you were really exposed to, maybe you'll have a more of a passion for it than others. And that's, where there's an argument I see online a lot, like in some of these Facebook groups and stuff, about like Hannibal. A lot of people are like, oh man, Anthony Hopkins sucks as Hannibal. It's all about Mads Mikkelsen. And me, I'm like, fuck you, like Anthony Hopkins, that's Hannibal right there. I mean, we forget about Manhunter, forget about Brian Cox. We're talking about Anthony Hopkins, and we're talking about Mads Mikkelsen. And you want to say Mads is better? Mads is better than Anthony. I'm having a hard time even processing saying that. Anthony Hopkins, he's just the OG, but that was what I was experiencing. That's what I was. My first impressions of that franchise was with Anthony Hopkins. If you were way younger and you got into TV and saw the Hannibal show and never watched the movies, I could see where, well, you're thinking Hannibal Lecter, that's Mads Mikkelsen, and then you watch a movie, you're like, who's this guy? I can understand that. But so sometimes what you're exposed to first might impact what is your favorites and everything. So I'm wondering, Antonis, was Back to the Future 2, was that the first one you saw? Or did you see the first one? Because for me, like, I love the first one because it's just the OG, and it's where we kind of learn about the whole time travel thing, and we're getting introduced to these characters. I just thought it was so cool. Part 2 was like, okay, we took what we already knew and rolled with it. I like learning about like characters, character development, all this stuff. And it wasn't really much development as much as, okay, what craziness is going to ensue in their lives afterwards. So we didn't have that, that development of characters like we did in the first one, I thought. Let's see. You like Back to the Future 3 because Doc found love. Hey, you know what? And I'm not knocking any of the movies. You can you can like them all. I'm just saying, to me, the second the second and third were they're there. They're whatever. They don't do much for me. I'm not saying they're bad movies. It's sad the movie studios can't come up with fresh stories anymore. No, you're 100% right. 100% right. I watched the Matt Damon Future movie, and it was so shaky. Cooks, I'm not sure what movie you're talking about there. Do you like porn films like Brendan? Of course. Who doesn't? Who doesn't? Man, Brendan posting stuff about what he does on the weekend, and it's a little dog like playing with his wiener. Man, that's Brendan for you. Your Coke's on it talking about shaky cam. You made my day awesome. That's funny. Come on, the next FF in space. The next what? FF in space. What's FF? Freaky Friday? What are we doing? FF. What's FF? Being chilly. Sorry. How far? Let's see. 12:34 and it's 12:04. Oh, that's 10 minutes behind. I'm only 10 minutes behind now. Elysium. Oh, Matt Damon. I almost stopped watching because I don't remember. I remember Elysium. That was okay. I thought it was okay. It wasn't his best movie, by not even close. I thought Elysium was okay. I don't remember having an issue with the shakiness. I don't. All the Fast and Furious movies suck except for the third one when they're Tokyo drifting. All right. Oh man, that's funny. We were talking about Kardashians earlier, and that's like Ray JJJ or Ray JJ Jr. I love it. I love it. The Ray J Kardashian connection right there. But I've heard of the Tokyo Drift. I've never seen it, but man, I don't I don't know anything about them. I couldn't tell you anything about them, but I'm just not a fan of the franchise. For someone who haven't seen Star Trek, what is the basic premise and theme of the material versus, for example, Star Wars? So now Star Trek, you've got a bunch of different franchises, and the newer stuff that's coming out, Discovery and whatever this other bullshit that's coming out now, just ignore all that. Back in the day, when you had the original Captain Kirk, and then even the Next Generation, phenomenal. You're basically looking at the human civilization has figured out how to travel through space quickly. Like we got warp drive. And so it's basically just about humans exploring the final frontier, like they say in the show, and getting introduced to other alien races and learning, how they live and and trying to, peacefully interact with them and stuff. So it's based more off of what, the future could be for humans if we were able to travel to other worlds and there were aliens. Let's just say there's aliens out there and we're able to travel. What could possibly happen in the future, and where these travels are supposed to be all peaceful. They're not supposed to be military. It's not like where Star Wars is. You got the Empire that took over. They want to control the whole galaxy, and you got the rebels trying to beat them. It's a war. The whole thing's based on war. Where Star Trek is supposed to be a peace mission of meeting other civilization, other people, other aliens, meeting and having these races, come together and coexisting, and sharing knowledge and helping each other out and that stuff. So, but then things happen. You meet bad aliens, and so then they have to figure out how to fight them off. They encounter maybe like alien viruses or stuff. All these things that are plausible if we had the ability as human beings to fly through space fast enough to get to other stars, their solar systems, their star systems, and we could get to these planets that may have aliens there. It's just a possibility of what could happen. So future, let's just say we could have warp drive. It is more plausible versus it's kind of just the future of human beings versus Star Wars is supposedly, just an empire and a big war. So that's a difference. Star Trek is they're explorers, they're pioneers going out and exploring the universe. And there's aliens that don't like us. There's some that do like us. But even though some do like us, there's still tension and stuff. So to me, it's exciting because it's a lot more plausible than Star Wars. And one of the so interesting, and there's so many different like documentaries or TV shows or videos on YouTube about some of the things that Gene Roddenberry came up with, or some of the Star Trek writers came up with way back in the day that have become reality. Like flip phones, they pull out their phone, and it's like a flip phone looking thing. Beam me up, Scotty, and they're communicating with, outer space from a little tiny device. Back in the 60s or 70s or 80s, we'd be like, okay, you can't have this little device communicating with the spaceship. But we know now we can, because we got it right here and it communicates with satellites and stuff. So some of the ideas and things that came out of Star Trek that have really happened, like 3D printers. A 3D printer is like the closest thing to teleporting, or you're transporting, whatever, the beam me up, Scotty. It's not people, but the idea that you could have, an object, you could have a can of Coke down here and you can copy it and you can print it. You can recreate it in space with a 3D printer. That's phenomenal. That's pretty exciting. So there's a lot of things that came out of Star Trek that not necessarily exactly became true, but things that are very similar. It's kind of eerie, kind of like The Simpsons. A lot of the things that The Simpsons have predicted over the years, kind of sketchy, right? Like the whole Donald Trump going down the escalator thing and all that. Like, how the fuck would they know that? And then, so here's the thing. If you're Donald Trump and The Simpsons did this, did you specifically have an escalator there in case you won the presidency so you could do like The Simpsons? Or was that just total coincidence? Who knows? I don't know, but it's interesting, like things like the Simpsons have predicted. A lot of that stuff with Star Trek is kind of similar. Let's see. Matt Damon stole that part from Eminem. Well, I'll tell you, if Eminem was in that Elysium movie, I don't think I would have watched it. I've still never seen Green Mile, and I don't care if I do. Puppet Matt Damon from Team America. Hey, man. What was the whole thing? The whole thing with Jimmy Kimmel, fucking Matt Damon or whatever. Like that whole joke and everything was hilarious for a while. Look at this. Got to jump down here. Antonis, thank you so much for the super chat, homeboy. Really appreciate that. What was your very first horror convention, and what inspires you to go to them all the time? One thing I love about conventions is going out and meeting people. Like this last one, we got to go. We met Tiki Ghoul there for the first time. It was so much fun getting to meet Tiki there, and then like Ortega, who's Skywalker on Instagram, or like Nocturno. So many people we've got to meet at conventions, or reconnecting with Cool Duder. Like things like that. It's fun for the people. And what up, Cinestalker? Yes, very late stream. Just like I went on apparently 2 hours and 38 minutes ago. I was going to talk about a couple movies, and we've been having a riveting conversation here about movies. It's been a lot of fun. If you want to jump on, let me know. You can jump on, but yeah, we're having a lot of fun just talking movies and stuff over here. But my very first horror convention was Son of Monster Palooza, in which I was at with my main man right here, Cinestalker, and Wet Movie One, and Luna Meow, and Cool Duder. We were all, I think it was 2015, maybe 2015 or 2016. It's like 6 or 7 years ago, 6, 7, 8 years ago, whatever it was, maybe earlier. I don't think so. I think it was like 2015 or 2016. I went with them I met them over there. I drove over there, but it was Son of Monster Palooza was my first one. Yes. But bro, Antonis, thank you so much for the super chat. That's you made my night right there, homeboy. Appreciate that. But no, I am. I'm all jacked up on Diet Coke, man. I'm gonna like, where's you going, man? It's like Diet Cocaine right here, man. You gotta love it. You gotta love it, man. Yeah, them Diet Coke bumps. I'm over here like, oh man, oh the Diet Coke, man. Oh my God, the Diet Coke, man. Oh man, yeah, like, oh man. But no, we just, you know what? I came on, and I know I'm gonna get, some of you guys are getting mad at me because I'm gonna miss some of your comments now. But I wanna mention this. So I had talked about earlier, I was gonna like review some of these movies. We never got to that. Maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't, or whatever. But Fluff showed up the other night on Christmas night, and it was pretty cool. And he brought this, the Ultimate 100 greatest fights in UFC, and this came out like 2009. So this doesn't have Conor McGregor or any of the newer fighters in it. It's the OGs, but it's phenomenal. I was watching the heck out of it, and I was talking to Fat Samurai guy, and he's like, "Oh man, that's great. That's awesome. That's a great one to have." So big ups to Fluff for that. And then so then Fluff brought up the Munsters, which is a horrible movie, but at least it's got a nice slipcover, and it's a Rob Zombie movie, so I'll put it in the collection. And then Fluff also, he bought this for me. This is badass. Animal House Steelbook FYE exclusive, and Animal House might be, it is definitely my top 5 favorite comedies of all time. Absolutely love Animal House, but this FYE exclusive here, Fluff picked up for me. That was so cool of him. And then this is cool. Fluff picked up the house that Jack built, and I've seen this. I own this. In fact, what I had was a DVD, and I've actually lent it to Fat Samurai guy. It's been at Fat Samurai guy's house for like a year. He's trying to watch it. I think he already watched it though. I think he already watched it. But I lent him that, and another movie, I forget, Criterion. But anyways, he was trying to get around to watching them. He's had a lot going on. But I think that was just a DVD. So this was like an upgrade of House of Jack built to a Blu-ray for me, Fluff brought up. And then he brought this funny, all this Hannibal talk tonight. The Bunker with Anthony Hopkins as Adolf Hitler. Love Anthony Hopkins. And a long time ago, I intended on watching this. I can't remember if I ever did. I'll have to watch it to see if I remember it. If I did. And then he brought up Sex and the Teenage Mind, and there was something behind this. Is this maybe is Michael Ray Bauer? Oh yeah, Michael Ray Bauer's in this. Yeah, Sex in the Teenage Mind. I've never seen this, so this is cool. Definitely gonna have to check this out real soon with Michael Ray Bauer. And then he brought up The Buffalo Room, or Where the Buffalo Roam. Bill Murray right here. Check that out. I've never seen that either. And then he brought up Black Friday. And is this? Oh, yeah, because of Bruce Campbell being it. That's why he brought that up. So Fluff brought up some gifts, some mad gifts. I felt like a dickhead. Fluff left. I didn't have no gifts for him. But yeah, Fluff brought those up. And I wanted to kind of talk about him, show what Fluff brought. It was very cool. And then check this out. It was a Christmas gift. One of, the rest are like all out there put away and stuff. But my wife and kids hooked it up with moon pie cotton candy. Have you ever seen moon pie cotton candy? Look at that. We should try this. All this Diet Coke in me right now. I don't have any sugar. I got the caffeine in me, but I need some sugar. Maybe we should open up the moon pie cotton candy. Has anybody ever seen this? I've never seen moon pie cotton candy before, and I can't get it open. I'm gonna wind up stabbing myself here. But I've never seen moon pie cotton candy before. Let's check this out. And it's cool because it does come with a couple little moon pies here. Let's check. We're gonna open it up. Oh, it smells very chocolatey. Very chocolatey. All right, let's pull out a little bit here. See, moon pie cotton candy. Let's check it out. Oh, that's phenomenal. That's amazing. Wow. I've had cotton candy. You go to a ball game or something. You're at a county fair, something like that. You have some cotton candy, but it's always just cotton candy flavor. This is, I don't know that it's really moon pie flavor, but it's definitely chocolate cotton candy. That is good. But I don't want to be the guy sitting here eating the whole live stream. So I'm going to put that down. But highly recommend it. Moon pie cotton candy. If you run across it, pick some up. That's yummy stuff right there. Yeah, never seen that before. Open it up on Christmas, like, no way, this is cool, because they know like I'm a sucker for moon pies. And we go like traveling around. We do like these road trips or traveling around the country and stuff. And we go into a place, and if they got moon pies, I love checking out all the different flavors. My favorite is banana, but I do like strawberry or chocolate. Vanilla is like okay, but I know there's more flavors than that. I can't remember what's up, or what they are. But anyways, yeah. So no, Fluff brought up some cool movies, and so I was going to talk about those, and then also I was going to like actually kind of like review some movies, but we're almost 3 hours in, so I don't know if I'm going to do full reviews, but I'll talk about these a little bit. Death Knot. This is from our good friends at Wellgo USA. It's a Korean film about a mom who passes away. Well, it's at the very beginning, so I'll tell you, it's not a spoiler. She hangs herself, but she is like either possessed or she's like a witch or something. Like, you have to figure that out as the movie goes on. But after she dies, it's about her kids, son and daughter, who come to kind of deal with her estate. And they realize the town that she lived in, everybody there hated her and accused her of being a witch. So was she a witch? Was she possessed? Was there something else going on? Who knows? You got to watch and see. But as the movie goes on, crazy shit starts happening to other people. So it's it's kind of like Audition, if you, in a sense. If you've ever seen the movie Audition, where at the beginning it's really crazy, then it's really building the story, really heavy on the plot, and then at the end it gets crazy again. And that's kind of like this, where it's crazy at the beginning, crazy at the end, a lot of like a dramatic story in the middle. So Death Knot, a good one. January 17th, be coming out physical media or digital from our good friends over at Wellgo. And then this is another one I just was going to talk about watching the other day, because Matt had mentioned he loved Cat's Eye, and I was like, I can't remember if I've ever seen that or not. And I have. It just been a long time. But great cast, James Woods and many others. But it's a 3-part anthology with this kind of wrap around with this cat that kind of travels between stories. And it's good. My favorite is probably the middle one, where it's the dude he's like going to run off with this rich guy's girlfriend, and they make him go like climb around a building on this ledge, like 50 stories up or whatever. And if he survives, he gets to live. If not, he falls off the building and dies. But the Cat's Eye, and the third one is about these little trolls that go in and haunt Drew Barrymore. And the first one is like with the one with James Woods, where James Woods is trying to quit smoking. He goes to this place where they're supposed to help him quit smoking. And then they're like, okay, we're going to make you quit smoking, because if you smoke, we're going to come and we're going to like torture your wife. And he's like, what? Like, nah, screw this. I'm out of here. And they're like, nope, it's too late. And then so, and they're like, if you smoke again after that, then, we're going to like, I think, is it like torture his daughter? And then if you smoke again, we're going to like, like rape your wife or something. It's like really messed up things. And so it's about him trying not to smoke. And then what happens if he does. You have to watch it and see. But Cat's Eye, I mean, the movie's like damn near 40 years old. I don't want to be spoiling anything. But if you've never seen Cat's Eye, it's a good trilogy. I really enjoyed it. And then I watched Christmas Evil. And so this one is kind of weird. It's old school, and definitely what I like about it more than anything is when you got this killer Santa, and you don't know, like, he does some killing, but you don't know when or what's really going to set him off to kill. And so there's times where he's like around kids and you're like, oh shit, is he going to kill these kids or whatever? So you don't know when or not he's going to kill, but dude is a madman. And I really love that. Very similar elements to the Joker, in the sense that this guy is a loose cannon. He is a mental nut job, and you just don't know what he's going to do from one scene to the next. And it's all based off of the environment around him, what people are saying or how they're responding to him. And it's all set off because he saw mommy kissing Santa Claus and thought, as a little kid, and he thought mommy was cheating on daddy with Santa Claus, and it fucked him up. So Christmas Evil, fun movie, a good movie, but not the best Christmas movie ever. There was parts of it that kind of like bugged me a little bit, but I'm glad I have it, and I will be keeping it in the collection here. And it is a released by a company that can suck my butt. I'm not going to mention that company's name that put that copy out. But Christmas Evil, I think you could stream it. And then I just recently also watched Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas. I hadn't seen this in probably 30 or 40 years since I was a kid. And Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas, it's Jim Henson's, it says. So it's like Muppets. And it starts off kind of like being narrated by Kermit the Frog. And it's not heavy on the Christmas festivities and stuff, but it's a story of a family struggle. This family of otters that lost their dad, their struggle to get by during Christmas time. So it's not like they're not singing Jingle Bells, they're not singing Deck the Halls and Fa La La and all that. It's a little bit different, but it's a good story, good movie. Gave me a lot of good memories of watching that as a kid. And then, how about that? And then Silent Night. And now this was the second time I'd ever watched it. And it's funny, the girl, the lead actress in it, she was in, is it called Black Summer, like a zombie show? I think it was Black Summer. I think it was called Black Summer or Black Winter. I think it was Black Summer, right? See, yeah, Black Summer, and it's Jamie King, like the lead actress in this. Jamie King, she's phenomenal. I love her. She's great. She plays a cop in this, but there is a twisted Santa that's like going around killing people in town, and there are some messed up kills. There's some messed up kills in this. It's a lot of fun. Again, not the greatest ever, but a Silent Night. This is a fun Christmas horror movie. I'm not sure what I rated it on the good old Letterboxd here. Let's see what I gave it. I'll have to take a look. Right now, if I was thinking about it, I'll probably go 7 out of 10. Let's see what I rated it here, because here it's on a 1 to 5 scale. But Silent Night, I gave it 3.5 times 2. That would be a 7. So I gave it basically a 7 on Letterboxd. But I also, so Christmas Evil, Silent Night, Emma Otters. Oh, the Trailer Park Boys. When I did that Christmas video where I was talking about the Christmas movies and rating them and stuff, I had forgotten about the Trailer Park Boys Christmas special, which is a fun Christmas show. You love Silent Night 2012, so good. Yeah, no, it is good. It is very good at Christmas time. That Killer Santa is insane. So yeah, I'm glad you like it. And then also Christmas Bloody Christmas. Just watched that. And I love how we actually get, instead of just like dumb bimbos that start getting killed by this like robotic Santa thing, we get to meet these characters and learn a little bit about them before they start getting killed. There was a frustrating part for me in Christmas Bloody Christmas when she takes off in the cop car, and the one cop dies, and she stops because she runs into the other cops, and they like won't listen to her, and they put her in the back seat, and they're like, shut up. And that kind of frustrated me, because cops would be like, okay, maybe they're going to put her in cuffs because she's covered in blood and people are dead, but they're going to talk to her, not just scream at her like these cops did. And that part kind of drove me nuts. But the rest of the movie was fun. I really liked the characters, and I was shocked at some of the deaths in Christmas Bloody Christmas. I did not think that they were going to kill all the people that they did. I was very surprised with a couple people, and the way they killed them too was great. I thought Christmas Bloody Christmas was a lot of fun. So watched that recently. Oh, and Emily the Criminal. I just watched that too not too long ago. And Emily the Criminal, man, what a good movie. This girl struggling to get through college, and she got in trouble with the law, and so she can't shake that stigma that's attached to her, that she's like a criminal, so she can't get a good job and stuff. And it just kind of turns her more into crime. And man, that was good. I gave that 4 stars on Letterboxd. Jordy Switzer, what is my letterbox? It is notorious_OGP. But anyways, with and I'll just show you this here. Let me oh, that's not working. Frozen. Oh, I don't want to jack up things here. Let's do this. I'll try and pull up. I'm going to show you something here, because a lot of times people go like, oh, what's your link to this or that or whatever. I will show you now. Here's something here. Okay. So let me pull this up here. Okay. So if you go to my YouTube page here, and across the top here, home, where it says home, video, shorts, live, playlist, community, then there's members and store, then channels, and then about. If you go to the about tab and you go down here, here's my link to my Instagram, Facebook, Letterboxd, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, my PayPal, my Orb Hut, and I even have a link tree. So they're all right there. Just go to the channel, to the OGP channel, and then go to the About tab, and all my links are right there if you want to find them. Easiest way, rather than going onto like Letterboxd and trying to type it all in. So, but anyways, that's really what I wanted to kind of go over, was those movies. I wanted to talk about that and talk about what Fluff hooked me up with. But man, what a fun, great conversation tonight with everybody. Some great questions from Whisper there. I was man, love talking film and talking movies. And one thing, I don't want to ever claim to be like an expert on anything. I'm a fan, like most of you are, just we're fans of movies and we like talking about them and stuff. So that's really what I'm all about. And it was I don't know everything about every movie out there, and I'll tell you, if I don't know a movie, I don't know a movie. But it is just a lot of fun talking about them and then learning. I have a list, and even like on my Letterboxd, I'm putting in there a lot of the movies that you all recommend that I should check out. So it's just a lot of fun talking and learning and about new movies that we haven't seen or whatever. Have a lot of fun doing that. But before, and I am going to wind it down here. We're after 1 o'clock in the morning. We're 4 a.m. on the East Coast now. And, but before I go, I want to mention that the Esteban Pete PLUMA funeral and memorial service for our homie Supervillain Pete, it is over $9,000. And this is in about 30 hours or so. So not even 2 days in, and they're over $9,000 to pay for our homie Supervillain's funeral. And it's amazing. If any of you have contributed to that, thank you so much. If you can, that would be great. When this video is over, I'll drop a link to it down in the comment section or down in the video description. If anybody wants to, help his family get together a good, proper funeral service and memorial for him. I'm hoping to be there. I'm hoping to go. I don't know if it's going to happen or not. I have a lot going on. And I don't know if I have the means right now to afford like a plane ticket out there and back. So I'm just not sure if that's going to happen or not, but I would love to be out there for his funeral, whether I drive or fly or whatever. I'm going to try to get out there, but I'm just not sure if it's going to happen or not, but I would love to. It's still a shock. I can't believe still that Supervillain is gone. We talked to him so much, and I mentioned right at the beginning of the show tonight that Cinestalker and Web Movie One and I last night was very therapeutic for us sitting there talking about him and remembering him and the friend that he was to us, what he meant to us, what he meant to his family and stuff. It was very good, because it was just so tough. It was just so tough trying to digest and process the fact that he's gone. And you know, I tell you guys this all the time, but we love you all. Everybody that's here. I'm not like, you get these giant YouTube channels and they, like, oh, our fans. I don't have fans. I have friends. You all are friends. We like just hanging out and talking movies together. And like I tell you before, mine is the ugly face you have to look at during this, but we're just talking movies and we're just friends hanging out. And that's the way it is. And, if anybody in our little community here, was to pass on or whatever, we would be devastated, just as we are with this losing Supervillain. And it's just such a shock, but it was so nice being able to hang out with them last night, talk about it. But yeah, it's phenomenal that they've got that much money. Cinestalker, you're right. It's it just tells you the kind of person he was, how many people's lives that he really impacted. And I'm gonna pull this up again because I just absolutely love this. When we think of Supervillain, we think of the party guy and everything, and having a lot of fun, and him, just talking movies and being goofy. But this was the real man right here. The dad, that's his daughter and his son there with him. 15-year Border Patrol officer. His parents are still around. He's got his sister. I think that his daughter created the GoFundMe, and because it says Juliana Pluma is organizing this fundraiser on behalf of Yadira Pluma, and I think Yadira is his sister. I think that's Supervillain's sister. I think she's maybe the one that's going to kind of facilitate getting the funeral service all put together, because his daughter, she's only 19. It's a lot on her to try and figure out how to get a funeral together for her father. So I think his sister's the one going to be doing that, because she's like in her 40s. So it's so sad. Day before Christmas, those two kids right there learned their dad passed away. Just devastating, heartbreaking. And we're going to miss him. We're going to miss him. The fact that, nights like tonight where he would have probably jumped in and hung out and talked, or even come on the stream, it's not going to happen anymore. And that really sucks. It really sucks, because he was such a good friend. Monkey, will you be covering the funeral? I hope Cinestalker attends. So Monkey, if I can go, I will be doing some type of video. It would be what would be appropriate. I may not like videotape the entire service or something, or whatever. And if I do any type of video for it, I would definitely run it by his family first and get their consent to go public with anything before. And if there was something they didn't want public, then I wouldn't. So I would do it with the utmost discretion and concern and care for his family. But I would love to be able to share with everybody that knew him that funeral service. So I would like to be there for that. I'd like to do that video. More importantly, I'd like to be there to honor him, and to represent, all of us from the crew that loved him so much, and to represent the folks that couldn't be there. Yeah, no, it is a great picture of him. You're right, it totally is. But anyways, yeah, no, I'm just thrilled. Over $9,100 in man, less than 2 days, like 30 hours or so. That's so crazy. But yeah, I think no offense, I meant it as you did the JFK place. No offense taken, Monkey. I understand your question. That is a perfectly good question, and I did not take the wrong way at all. It is covering that. I think doing a video of his service, there's a lot of people that would want to see that, and I would love to be able to make that happen. If Cinestalker could go, or Wet Movie One could go, and I couldn't, I would hope they would do the same thing. But again, with respecting his family's wishes. If they didn't want it out there, then no, it wouldn't happen. Was in Tulsa this year. Still a rad Rumble Fish vibe out there. All right. Did I miss something? Did I miss something that I'm not following that comment there, JG, but sorry, I must have missed something there. But man, speaking of Tulsa, man, has anybody been watching Tulsa King? That show is fun. It is fun. It's not as good as like Sopranos, but it's fun. Tulsa King is a good one. If you haven't been watching that, definitely recommend it. I think there's only 7 episodes. It might be an 8th out by now, but I think it's just 7 episodes in. So good, so good. He was your channel's JFK. Do you agree? He was my channel's JFK. Yeah. Well, as far as somebody that died way too early, definitely he was way too young, and his daughter said he was only 42 years old. It's just nuts. It is way too young. It is way too young to go. And not being able to be there like for his daughter's wedding, to walk her down the aisle, not being able to be there for his son's graduation, and how tough that's going to be for them not having their dad there is tough. And the best thing we could do is honor them and honor him and remember him. Oh, Jordy's profile picture. Okay. Got you. Dylan. Okay. Right on. Yeah. Matt. Okay. Is it Matt Dillon? Or is it the brother? I don't know. But anyways, I got you now. Man of honor, larger than life, impactful, iconic, great heart and presence. Yeah. In that aspect, Monkey, you are 100% correct. Yes, 100% correct in that sense of him being this channel's JFK. Totally. With that in mind, and he was also the JFK for Web Movie 1, for Cinestalker, for Born to Be Rad, for Death Pit or Dead Pit. Like so many of us that he was a part of and supported. Just such a good dude. But anyways, thank you everybody for watching, hanging out tonight. This was a lot of fun. I did not expect to go 3 hours, but it happens, and it was fun. I had a blast. But I'm going to wind it down now. It is 1:19 in the morning. I'm going to wrap it up and go get some rest. But I should be doing some editing tomorrow. There will be a video, hopefully tomorrow afternoon, evening, up for members. My visit to Strawberry Bank in New Hampshire. That should be up tomorrow, some point for members. And we'll be getting some other videos. I was hoping to put up a Dollar Tree video tomorrow, but as I said earlier, went to Dollar Tree and there was nothing new. So I wasn't sure how it was going to go after Christmas, if they were going to reload or what the movie situation was going to look like over there. Nothing new. All the same old titles at Dollar Tree. So I'm going to check out a different Dollar Tree in the near future and see if I can come up on anything good over there. I'll keep checking them for sure. But there should be some other content coming real soon, because as I'm not ready to make public announcements about things yet, but tomorrow, man, I got to get some rest because I have to get up. I got to go places tomorrow. I got places to be, which might be possibly in the great state of Nevada. Might be tomorrow. Might happen. Don't know. Not committing to it. But anyways, just depends on how things go earlier in the day. But you might be seeing a live from a different state from me here pretty soon. Anyways, everybody, thank you very much for hanging out. It's been a blast, and I appreciate you all. Take care of yourselves, and please, nobody else die on here. Please, nope, we don't need that. We all want to hang out together, have a lot of fun for years and years and years to come, talking movies and enjoying each other, and just this little community. It's so much fun. So thank you, everybody. Have a good night. Be safe. Take care of yourselves. I will see you all very, very soon. And Antonis, thank you again so much for the super chat. Really appreciate you, brother. Have a good night.